Am I in heaven?
No, not at all. And in fact, we actually want you to watch and explain all 5 of the God's Not Dead movies and write some legally distinct new music for them.
So I'm in hell.
I mean, kinda, yeah.
So what? You want me to go, like, over here?
Yeah, wherever's fine. Sorry we made you think it was heaven. We just didn't have anywhere else to point you, you know?
No, it's fine. I get it.
I don't know when was the last time I had chicken.
Okay, so this movie is made by Pureflix, which is basically the opposite of Dave's company, Unwashed Butthole Pictures.
I'm so glad to be back, dude. All these corporate shoots I've been on. Nobody mentions Unwashed Butthole Pictures.
Why does nobody ever say my company's name out loud on these shoots?
Stickers on everything.
Jesus Christ! Whose caravan is this? That's partially why Dave is in serious debt. Probably also why he's never successfully courted famed director Harold Kronk to cronk out his signature directorial flourishes all over one of UBP's, I guess you'd call them movies. But here at Pureflix, things are getting cronked.
It's all coming together.
Even better, the movie apparently features newsboys, which I assume are those little paper, read all about it, please don't beat me for being poor in public children, you know, from the Victorian era. No! That's another massive get, because most of those kids actually died of cholera and unwashed buttholes like 100 years ago. Already, this movie has a lot going for it. Newsies, Harold Kronk, not Dave. I mean... Anyway, a bunch of cholera-free college kids with clean buttholes walk to Hadley University, which doesn't exist, making it the perfect made-up target for Christian apologetic arguments. And indeed, we open on lots of sins. Wine purchasing, unmarried hugging, in mixed fabric clothing, which is the Christian film equivalent of an Eyes Wide Shut orgy, the hint of a female butt crack, of unclear cleanliness, sleeping in, being Muslim, microwaved coffee. Okay, so technically that's not a sin, but you just wait until the Pope gets my notes and releases Bible 2.0. I guess this movie's right. God is dead. Oh, shit, not dead? What the? I'm so confused.
God was found dead in Miami. Yeah. Not
found dead in Miami. Okay, interesting. Specific.
I gasped for a second.
Before we go any further, I would like to point out a factual error real quick. See where it says music by Will Musser? That should actually read music by Will Musser and Jordan Breeden. Maybe even Dr. Jordan Breeden, but seriously. Let me tell you a story.
It's story time with Jordan, where he tells a true story, but it sounds like a lie.
It was the summer of 2013. I had just washed my butthole and graduated from a college that might as well be made up, James Madison University.
The Dukes.
Seriously?
Oh, yes.
I was also living in the probably real Harrisonburg, Virginia. And because you could actually make money on the internet back then, and I was cash poor, but creatively just friggin' bustin', I opened Craigslist in the hopes that Metallica was hiring, and actually they were, but mostly for people to listen to Saint Anger and tell them it was really good, so I passed on that. And after bookmarking a few promising offers to non-sexually cuddle with some very nice guys, I spotted a post demanding to know, can you sound like explosions in the sky? No, not that kind. The poster claimed that he needed some ambient guitar for his movie. Dave and I went to high school together, so I immediately clocked this as a guy hoping to add some production value to his homemade P tape, which is the same way that John Williams got his start. But also, why yes, I can sound like explosions in the sky when the mood strikes and the moon is down. So I hopped on GarageBand, plunked out a couple guitar lines soaked in more reverb than the pee in this guy's mattress, and I emailed over the results. Within 20 minutes, the composer excitedly called to say he loved the track more than he loved good hydration, and that the definitely real non-sex movie was so big and so important and so real and so non-sexual, he couldn't even send me any clips for fear of leakage. And I'm like, yeah, right. You mean any more leakage? I said to myself with my mind voice. The composer then offered me a staggering $200, which for context would be worth about $278.14 in today money. But in exposure, also apparently worthless, then and now. and all I needed to do to get a hold of those two Benjamins was to record some guitar lines to complement a few pieces he'd already written. Obviously, I immediately accepted and then excitedly ran downstairs to tell my 7 roommates, which is not an exaggeration. I had a lot of roommates. I promised that I'd try to remember them once I was a world-renowned P-tape composer, even though you puked up combination Percocets and alcohol that one time I was at a Guster and Jack's Mannequin concert, Jimmy. Also a real thing that happened, but actually at that time I was living with other people. I'm just compressing my life to make it seem funnier and more interesting, but literally everything I'm saying did literally happen. It's just the timeline is a little confused. Anyway, later that day, I received my first assignment. The email contained nothing except one literal explosions in the sky track. The movie was apparently already edited to a bunch of literal explosions in the sky tracks. They just needed some scrub to very Christianly come in and rip off explosions as closely as possible without actually breaking copyright law and or be the fall guy if somebody needed to go to jail and or face God's judgment, which I assume is the main reason they chose me. I'm very good at avoiding the law. You hang out with Dave long enough, you pick some stuff up. Mostly hitchhiker's teeth, but not always. The tricky thing was I couldn't just copy a song's vibe. I needed to match every single movement. If the music swelled like a full bladder at 37 seconds, you better believe my track needed to swell like a full bladder at exactly 37 seconds.
Oh God. You just drank pee, man.
I had to match songs perfectly, beat for beat, explosion for explosion, sky for sky, without faux-explosioning them too closely. Because jail and death and hell. And to make things even more difficult, I'd often send off a track only to immediately receive feedback like, hey, actually, this scene should be a little sadder. She's cancer. Or, can you make this more triumphant? It's literally the climax of the whole movie. Again, I never saw a single scene, so I had no idea who she was, or if the climax of the movie was triumphant because she beat God at basketball. That earned her a ticket into heaven or whatever. This made the job harder. I don't know if this much back and forth for work for hire guitarists is typical, but then again, God's Not Dead was for the Lord, so it needed to be perfect. In fact, they offered me an additional $125 for my efforts, which in today's dollars would be $185.72 and a fat wad of nothing. What's worse, I wasn't even credited for my work because I was technically a work for hire because I'm technically an idiot who didn't think to ask until it was way too late. All that remains from that weird time in my life is a track of original score excerpts and an inbox full of emails asking for more ambience because I had no idea how many times she dunked on God to make him cure her of her cancer or whatever. I didn't know. I hadn't seen it. Oh, I also had $325. And I mean, the movie itself only made $96 freaking million, which in today's dollars would allow me to pay for 2 months of health insurance. Not the good kind though, because that would be communism, okay? The bad kind. The American kind. But it's fine. I'm over it. I don't even care. Let's just watch this Josh Wheaton fella.
Josh Wheaton.
Sign up for classes outside with the rest of the incoming freshmen. For my younger viewers, the internet wasn't accessible by civilians until 2019. Unlocking it was actually what led to the terror that was 2020. Also, sort of like how we couldn't come directly to the Lord except when mediated by a priest in the tabernacle before Jesus' arrival, college freshmen couldn't enroll in college classes without on-campus outdoor assistance, apparently.
Hi.
Manye.
Wait, I thought Chinese people were just something Hollywood invented to explain Jackie Chan's accent.
What does PRC stand for?
People's Republic of China.
Seriously?
Sound like some bullshit to me.
As you're getting your no context emails, it's like, can you make this guitar riff a little more
Chinese? Every time that character comes on, I have to slam a gong. I don't feel comfortable doing this.
We'll pay you $6 more.
Yeah, we'll pay you in yen. Like, that's not even... Wait, what do they have? Doubloons?
Doubloons? There's a pirate character. We're paying you in doubloons and jewels and treasures.
Seriously?
Oh yes, always serious.
Anyway, Josh, I would not recommend majoring in political science or geography here because Hadley's class offerings are as poor as this movie's acting offerings.
What is your humanities elective?
Liberal tears.
Anyway, it's recommended that Josh not take Professor Radisson's Intro to Philosophy class because he hates God as much as Josh likes wearing little Jesus cross necklaces. God must have absolutely destroyed him on the basketball court. For it is written in Matthew 20:28, the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve. Right in your friggin' face, dude.
Think Roman Coliseum.
Oh, and I felt the need to clarify that it's a Jesus cross necklace because I know some Daves just like wearing necklaces showing off their favorite Roman torture devices, but they are themselves atheists. But not Josh. He doesn't even know who the Romans were. That's why he got accepted at Hadley.
Come on, man, it can't be that bad.
Josh refuses to drop the class, however, because he's gonna be someday.
Yeah, but I'm not sure I can do that.
In class, it's clear the professor is evil because he has a goatee. You know who else had a goatee? Satan. Why do you think I have a beard? It's because beardliness is godliness. But even still, he's one of those cool-ass professors who shows everybody his truly impressive would bang list. Oh, Camus?
The list goes on.
And who is like, I'm fully prepared to skip an entire third of the semester's material if you will all just sign a piece of paper that says God is dead. He's like, look, I don't want to teach the whole damn class.
The tedious duty of slogging through dry and dusty penises.
This used to happen all the time to me in college. Literally every single English class. What I did was I sat on my hand until it went numb before signing, and so it felt like someone else was committing apostasy.
And when you finish, please pass your papers to the right.
You're the worst professor of all time. You're giving people a 30% A? Right. Just for saying God is dead. This is the most non-strenuous college university of all time. He acts like a hard ass, but I'm like, this is like the ultimate participation trophy. You already did all the hard work of getting into Hadley. Okay, you got a 2.2 GPA. You walked from your parents' house. I'm not gonna make your life any harder than it needs to be. You're at Hadley. Our motto is, you know, do whatever you want.
A lowercase g. Maybe this one ought to get extra credit.
Most of these kids are like, hell yeah, God's dead as shit. A+, bitches, woo! But Josh is conflicted because he doesn't think God is dead. And he would never bang Albert Camus.
Albert Camus?
Obviously sexy.
He's saving all his Camus for his wife on their wedding well, I wrote wedding day, but probably more like wedding night. I don't know. I offered that. My wife said no. Well, okay, what about on the way over? She's like, you pig, I made a mistake. But again, he's the only one in class because everybody else is either an atheist like
Mr. G-Dog Gerard Trigger.
or chicken shit like this kid.
I'm out.
Do you think other classes at Hadley do this? Like, we'll skip the first third of Spanish if we all agree conjugaciones están muertas? We don't have to do history if we agree that Rome is dead? You could skip your med finals if you declare all your patients are dead? And if somebody disagrees, are they also challenged by the professor to spend the next 3 class sessions defending their opposing position? Wait, is this the genesis of Debate Me YouTube? Because that's what Josh now has to do. And if he can't mass convert the class,
You will fail this section and lose 30% of your final grade.
which is bad because lawyers, they can't get bad grades in introductory philosophy. It's literally the first thing the Bar Association looks at. The second thing, the cleanliness of your butthole. Or so Dave tells me.
Are you ready to accept that?
Honestly, I have no idea.
And if Josh doesn't become a lawyer, then Josh can kiss his girlfriend goodbye.
So the answer's simple, drop the class.
Too easy.
She's way too smart for this stupid-ass school and this stupid-ass Josh.
Why am I salutatorian of our graduating class here at my third choice school?
And this is hard on Josh because his girlfriend was actually voted one of 18 beautiful women America won't be able to resist this summer. I mean, clearly, look at her. I'd say she's in the top 18 girls that I'm like, I can't resist.
That's just who I am.
And yet somehow Josh presses on because,
God wants someone to defend him.
you know, because he's really tired right now after spending the Sabbath just slamming dunks on those who doubt the effectiveness of trickle-down economics. You're his only hope, Josh. What a dilemma. Elsewhere, a deeply liberal Amy, which I assume is short for Antifa, is late for work. And even worse, somebody broke into her car and stole her GPS. In 2014, how will she get to wherever she's going?
You're kidding, right?
Nope, somebody stole my GPS.
Especially considering her mean-ass, sexy-ass, rich-ass boyfriend won't tell her where she's supposed to go.
What's in it for me?
God, he's so sexy when he's withholding basic information. Some life advice for you, though. This trick does not work on the police.
I guarantee it.
I guess Amy figures it out eventually, though, because she ambushes the shit out of that Duck Dynasty guy and is like, why do you kill ducks?
The enemies of all ornithologies.
They are leaders.
Let's just get one thing straight. I ain't maiming nothing.
I enjoy rolling around in their innards and shitting down their throats and sending taunting letters to the detective ducks investigating their murders.
And then I eat it.
So you do kill those fucks.
And they'll never catch me either. Like, wah, wah, wah.
Why would I do it if I'm not proud of it?
And she's like, wow, well, I hate that you do that. And he's like, well, I'm a Christian. What else can I do? And she leaves disgusted.
You have cancer.
Makes sense. She doesn't eat duck, nature's anti-cancer. Oh, also her mean cancer-free boyfriend breaks up with her sexily.
We had fun.
And speaking of fun, the guy who gives Amy her MRI is he's just chomping away at something. Really going to town on something yummy in his mouth, probably duck. I mean, this guy's a medical professional. He knows how to protect himself from cancer, which is why he eats duck and why Amy's gonna get cancer because she doesn't have duck. Amy heads home to be upset about her cancer, but I'll tell you what, that guitar? Wow, incredible. Whoever wrote and recorded that should get a full EGOT and the associated union healthcare benefits, and also a unanimous induction to the Big Hog Hall of Fame. But just because she's dying of cancer and nothing matters doesn't mean that she doesn't want to go ambush the actual Newsboys band for an unscripted interview, which, can you do that?
Did we schedule this?
No.
You just sneak backstage and get into a band's dressing room? Isn't that how people get murdered? Is she gonna murder the Newsboys?
I think you're here kind of wondering, kind of hoping.
Well, maybe she should consider it because breaking news, boys. Their lead singer, Michael Tate.
Michael Tate, how are you?
Real f***ing bad.
He's not a good dude. A little rapey, a little pedophile-y.
Think about that.
Yeah.
But no, they're like, hey, maybe instead of murdering us with your words, you fake news journalist, you should become a Christian.
That's what God was saying, and he just wanted you to know.
Thanks, buddy.
Maybe, but did God also say to say it with an Australian accent? I can't take anything seriously when it's tinged with Aussie, and I'm sure that God feels similarly, which is why Australia isn't mentioned even one time in the Bible. There's a reason it's Jesus of Nazareth, not Jesus of New Wales.
Fingers and butts, dicks and butts.
Anyway, the band prays for Amy real quick. Thanks, Newsboys, and soon-to-be convicted sex offender Michael Tate.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Elsewhere, Mina here checks on her mom, who can't even remember how much damn chicken she's been pounding.
When was the last time I had chicken?
Snap out of it, Mom! It's too much chicken! You're gonna die!
I don't see a ring.
Don't change the subject, Mom! The chicken is killing your brain! You need duck! Duck is the only holy bird, Mom! Please remember your Bible training! Chicken is only biblical when it's breaded and fried and served in a restaurant that doesn't open on Sundays. Have you even been attending your CA meetings? Oh, don't make me search your room for dank McNugs.
When was the last time I had chicken?
That would be yesterday, for lunch and dinner.
I don't think that she should have the same thing every...
Shut up. Even more elsewhere, one Reverend David, which, like, could you imagine a Dave being a reverend? God can't.
How does that translate?
Sorry. Anyway, he, David, picks up one clearly foreign Pastor Jude for, as far as I can tell, the express purpose of bringing him to Disney World. As far as I can tell, there is no other reason for Jude's visit.
It's a lifelong dream come true.
And there's no explanation as to why David himself must be his chauffeur, but boy, did Pastor Jude make a poor choice. David's cars, unlike God, are basically all dead. His personal car dies.
That doesn't sound good.
Then his rental car dies.
You're kidding.
Then his second rental car dies. And spoiler alert, just like Job, they never make it to Disney World. You know, in the book of Job, his family dies, he loses everything. He also never goes to Disney World. The greatest picture of suffering in the Bible.
It really is just a little Mickey Mouse backpack, and he's just standing there sad.
Basically, this is a metaphor for the Christian walk. It's Pilgrim's Progress if he never got out of the city of destruction because his rental cars kept crapping out. Even elsewhere, a Muslim girl rehijabs against the wishes of Hadley University's most forward and mildly offensive lesbian.
I wish you not to do that.
You're beautiful.
Well, she wouldn't have to. She didn't go to this fake-ass university where your parents pick you up at the end of the day and sit in the damn parent pickup line for way too long trying to explain why you have to wear the hijab, while I assume all the other non-Christian parents just lay into their horns.
We must never forget who and what we are.
Like, move it, buddy. I've got to get my kid to heathen practice. These very forward and mildly offensive lesbians are going to drive themselves to Lowe's.
I wish you not to do that.
At home, Aisha walks past her brother playing a video game that sounds like complete nonsense. Like, there's not even one mention of a giant halo in space. So that she can go to her room and listen to Franklin Graham on her bed. Oh, that's good, because he's got a lot of important, helpful thoughts, like, and I quote, "Did you know that God has a file on each one of us? The Epstein files are nothing compared to God's files." We're thinking about Aisha.
That is the most important thing.
You sure about that?
Except, oh, Her weird brother Fahid inexplicably grabs her iPod to see that she's listening to a sermon from a pedophile protector.
You must never tell Baba.
He nods, but I don't trust Fahid. He seems like a traitor. Because otherwise, what was his original plan? Why was he sneaking in there? What was he expecting to see on the iPod? You couldn't even really put boobs on those back in 2014, unless he thought that she was listening to John Lennon or pretended that the click wheel was like a weird nipple or something. Okay, yeah, Fahid did betray Aisha, and Baba slaps her in her apostate face and throws her out into the apostate street, which is legitimately really high stakes. Because now what? She's just gonna have to drive herself to college? She's only 19, you monsters! The whole time, Fahid cries like this is some sad and unexpected thing, but what did you expect, traitor? Fahid is Muslim Judas. This would never have happened if she owned a Zune. Fahid would not have been tempted at all to look at it.
That doesn't look like a titty at all. Oh my god,
You're not alone. Aisha runs to David for help, but ironically, Pastor David is alone because his actor divorced his real-life wife because he's the Christian Judas. I guess she was getting in the way of chasing his God-given dreams. Chapter 1. Divorce your wife. Anyway, old deliberating Josh also ends up in Pastor David's church and is like, man, what should I do? And Pastor David's like, I don't know. I think maybe you should just throw your life away. I'm pretty biased. You probably shouldn't ask me. I'm not even sure I believe in God anymore. Like, would a loving creator keep two good pastor friends from going to Disney World? I am Job. Job is me. But anyway, yes, you could drop the class because it's very clearly bullshit. But do you think Jesus dropped out of Philosophy 150? No, it was after the ad drop period, so he debated the shit out of those Pharisees. And look what happened to him. I mean, yeah, they murdered him, but actually that's what he wanted, and he still got full course credit, and we're all grateful for it. I think I made it pretty clear what you should do. Come back anytime. I'm hoping to go to Disney soon, but I think God's maybe allowing the devil to kill all my cars for some reason, even though I'm pretty sure Disney owns his rights, so it's 50-50 whether I'll be here if you come back or not. Bye. I hope this helped.
That's it? That's all? Yeah.
Josh crawls back to his girlfriend with apologetic newsboys tickets because they've been dating for 6 years today. Hooray!
You remembered.
And man, do you remember that super brief window when Christian bands were actually pretty cool inexplicably? I'm talking Under Oath, Emery, Attack Attack, Anne Berlin, Reliant K, Thrice, The Chariot, Devil Wears Prada, Flyleaf, Norma Jean, just to name a few. And yes, there's a wide range of coolness in there. But still, are there any interesting Christian bands that currently exist on or near the cutting edge of anything? I mean, besides Creed, Gwar, U2, you know?
They're gonna be in town next Friday.
But anyway, Josh's girlfriend's still pissed and tells him again to drop the defending God thing. Let God get the chair. He could probably handle it. Also, I don't know what this is, but Josh has what appears to be a copy of World News proclaiming that God's not dead in his shirt pocket. Did a newsboy give him that? No! Lecture 1.
Are you ready?
Honestly, I have no idea.
Josh begins by showing off his true spiritual gift, which is PowerPoint. This despite MS Word, as in Microsoft Word of God, being clearly the most spiritual of all the Microsoft Suite programs. But even still, if you don't believe in God after witnessing those graphics, I don't think anything Josh says is going to change your mind.
Most cosmologists now agree.
Josh then admits he can't prove God, but you can't not prove God. And also, Big Bang? More like God's bang. Am I right?
Let there be light.
But Professor Radisson is like, nah, Stephen Hawking says that the universe could totally bang itself if it wanted to without God. And he's very smart. Checkmate, you little shit.
Do you think you're smarter than me?
You're the idiot that for no reason maneuvered himself into a complete no-win situation. This is like the 3 times I had to wrestle a girl in high school. You think you're gonna be well respected if you crush some freshman in a debate about the existence of God? Bro, you're teaching freshman philosophy at a fake university. You don't have any respect to begin with. But no, he threatens to destroy Josh's future if he loses this challenge. Oh shit, is he gonna force Josh to be in those Left Behind reboots?
Oh, we all have different ways of dealing with things that we don't understand.
Then, just to pound his already sore but clean butthole even further and deeper, Josh's girlfriend breaks up with him because he's throwing away their future. But I'm 90% sure it's because she's banging a professor. As we'll soon learn, that's a thing that happens at Hadley. See, this is what happens when you don't teach that the PRC is a country. It snowballs from that into forgetting to put no banging students into the school bylaws.
It's over.
But if she's not banging a professor, who presumably made her sign a piece of paper that said condoms are dead, she's randomly throwing away a 6-year-long relationship because her boyfriend might get a C in Intro to Philosophy. The stakes, like this university's national ranking, could not be lower.
My mother was so right about you.
When? When Josh was in 7th grade? Yeah, I bet 13-year-old Josh wasn't husband material. But seriously, if your mom predicted this exact series of events happening to Josh, then you need to get her to start picking Powerball numbers immediately.
Okay.
Josh heads to the library to prepare for the next lecture, but runs into the Chinese kid who's also in that philosophy class and like, whoa! Lawyer boy, look out! You're not allowed to fraternize with the jury. Or, alternatively, since this debate thing isn't probably legally binding, and also almost certainly not even academically binding, no way the dean is gonna sign off on this bullshit. The school would get sued all to hell, but whatever. My point is that maybe you should fraternize way harder with the jury? Like throw a party for the philosophy kids and let them feel your osophy if they'll vote your way?
You're in my philosophy class.
Should we have sex?
I'm just saying, you gotta be all or nothing, Josh. Follow the rules or fill your holes. Clarence Thomas said that, and he stood by it, and now look at him. He's a Supreme Court justice.
With no problems and a squeaky clean record.
Correct.
Look, you need to learn these lessons if you're going to be a successful lawyer. I assume. I've never had a real job, and if you support my Patreon, I will never have to. Isn't that a worthy cause? Anyway, the Chinese kid is like, why are you doing this stupid thing? My Chinese daddy hates God and C-minuses in equal measure. And Josh is like,
Think of Jesus as my friend.
Jesus is a friend of mine. I have a friend in Jesus.
oh, okay. Well, Dave's my friend, and I tell the police he's dead all the time. I don't follow your logic, Josh.
That's why I leave you all like my extra teeth to prove it. He's dead.
Right.
Why are you doing what you are doing?
Once I tried to run and hide.
Sorry.
And now, the whole Love Actually of the movie starts falling into place. We learn not only is Mina the sister of asshole boyfriend,
It's me, Dork. Your sister.
but she's the lover of asshole professor.
Hi.
Hi.
She's like Dave on a Friday night, beset upon by assholes from every direction.
That's why they call it dementia.
She and Radisson have a little debate of their own that I assume is worth 30% of their love grade for the semester about how she's a Christian and he's not a Christian.
You know I'm a Christian.
And also she bought him his special wine, but she left it in the trunk of the car,
It's in the car.
which will probably make the wine taste like asshole. And then they inexplicably rehash how they hooked up halfway through her freshman year, as is the Hadley way.
Risk my career by dating her?
It's riveting Daytime Emmy nominated stuff. It's a true modern day Romeo and Juliet story in the sense that there's like a terrifying age gap between them. He's like, oh, you were such a sexy ass bitch freshman in my class. And she's like, yeah, and you were a big dick, hairy faced professor. Nothing that we could do about it. It's like Shakespeare in the back is blushing. This is beautiful. This will inspire me to one day write Romeo and Juliet, my seminal work.
There's only room in this relationship for two.
Why make it that? I feel like there's a lot of ways they could have backstoried their relationship. There's not like a point to it, you know? It's not like we realized that that was weird. Not to mention, this guy is all about making deals for grades.
That's the real lesson.
He's like, we can just skip the whole first third of the semester if you slide a third of the way on my dick.
It was an A-.
Close enough.
That night, Mina, the psychologically manipulated house slave, serves Professor Radisson's fancy fake college philosophy professor friends, and she makes a fool of herself by suggesting God is anything besides dead, which is a terrible faux pas because she spoke without permission from her master.
She's a work in progress. So.
To get away from that sweaty embarrassment, they reconvene in the dining room where everyone chokes down Mina's shit-ass skunk trunk toilet wine.
Talk about your grapes of wrath.
Stick to philosophy major jokes, you idiot. English major jokes are my thing. So like talk about your crap of Merlot Christo. I'll come back to it. I'll get it. Naught but sound and fury and boofing wine in your asshole. William Faulkner, you've done it again. The great American novelist has struck gold. In the meantime, seems a bit dickish that Radisson knew the wine would taste like shit, and yet he served it anyway, so he could be like, wow, Mina, this wine tastes like shit, which is your fault because you're limited as a human.
Know thyself.
Seems unnecessarily assholey, but I guess he's doing everything he can to distract from the fact that he's losing a logic battle to an 18-year-old named Josh and a career to making this frickin' movie. Speaking of, now we're at lecture number 2.
And it all boils down to circular reasoning.
Where Josh first accuses Stephen Hawking of using circular logic in his gravity arguments, which seems fairly reasonable, but he does this by making a metaphor about Spam meat, which is less reasonable, but is more delicious.
Spam is the best tasting food that's ever existed.
This is the height of hubris.
He then dives into evolution to be like, hey, no reason to think God couldn't have created and used evolution, and he probably did, because there was a huge evolutionary leap at some point that would be quite difficult without divine intervention. Josh then, he goes for the jugular.
What happened to you?
And Radisson admits that his mom died of cancer when he was 12, which made him an atheist, which... fair. You really checkmated his ass, Josh. Haha, your mom is dead. Concede, professor, in the face of my withering logic.
Everybody's laughing at him.
I think I'm losing control of my classroom. Except, oh no, sad and spurned and shitty with wine, Mina has a lunch date with Reverend David, who says something incredibly offensive.
Cinderella complex. It's not my name for it.
Dude, stop thinking about Disney for like 1 second. There are more important things in life than Disney. He's like, I think you've got Mickey Tourette's.
Deadly serious, you have Goofy syndrome. No, is it true?
Don't most people do that?
You've got Donald Duck AIDS. She's like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Basically, he's like, you should break up with Professor Radisson because he's never gonna be nice to you. Just like he wasn't nice to Cinderella because, holy hell, wait, Radisson was the evil stepmother the entire time? What a twist!
Have you been reading my diary?
David concludes by definitely trying to convert her butt into his mouth.
To the right person, you mean everything.
I'm pretty sure he stole that line from one of the cue cards in Love Actually. But whatever, now seal the deal with some skunk wine. She loves skunk wine.
Who cares what your boyfriend thinks?
And indeed, Mina's so turned on by all this romance that she immediately breaks up with Radisson, even as he tries to role-play confuse her.
On campus, I'm Professor Radisson.
No jackpot.
Ooh, I'm a sexy French maid auditing intro philosophy classes in my sexy spare time. Oh, let me dust your butt with my, I guess my duster, I don't know, feather duster. I'm a sexy French maid, don't worry about the specifics.
You'll never have any worth.
Fast forward to lecture number 3, which is all about the problem of evil. And Josh goes for the classic, oh, we have evil so that we can have free will, and that's totally worth cancer and terrorism and the Children of the Corn franchise, which is easily the weakest part of this movie's apologetic aspirations. I don't even know if Josh is full on wrong necessarily, but it's more realistic and honest to just say we have no real idea why God continues to delay the redemption of the world and lets the shitty Children of the Corn franchise continue to shit out movies. And then just promising that someday it'll all be made right.
Well, how convenient.
We've waited long enough that I think it's now mandatory that the new Earth comes with Switch 3s. But then Josh transitions to claiming there are moral absolutes, which I agree with. For example, Dave should never have access to salad dressing and a copy of Cat Fancy magazine. But Josh also says that without God, there's no reason to be moral, which I completely disagree with. It seems likely that there exists in the universe a concept that describes a 100% way to handle killing people, though nobody on Earth has or ever will perfectly nail it, I assume. Though that won't stop Dave from trying to find out. But there are plenty of reasons to be moral besides the threat of hell and or the love of a creator. For starters, people who don't murder people usually tend to live a little bit better in society. There are practical reasons to try to be moral. You could just not want to steal shit in the hopes that other people won't steal your shit. You could not have sex with Dave's mom in the hope that he won't have sex with your mom. You know, social contract and all that. You don't need a religious reason for not wanting to do heinous shit like stabbing someone or feeding people Arby's.
One day, I will get rid of all the evil in the world.
Radisson is not convinced of any of these and claims Christianity is
a mind virus.
Which, weird to hear that phrase used with the exact opposite connotation compared to nowadays. Mind viruses must have mutated when they became woke.
And Christianity is the worst virus of all.
But now they're yelling about choice. And Josh, the freshman with the underdeveloped brain being given a free platform and a huge audience, claims that he's being censored. But then Josh deftly pivots.
Why do you hate God?
Josh claims all the science clearly supports God's existence, which I wouldn't say you've definitely proved that in the last 3 classes or whatever, no matter how sick your PowerPoints are. And also, I don't think that's how faith works. Like, if you have absolute evidence, then it's no longer faith but fact, right? I don't know. But after some more confused yelling, Radisson admits, yeah, he hates God.
All I have for him is hate.
How can you hate someone if they don't exist?
Got him! Checkmate, bitch! Semantics, bitch!
I made a mistake with you.
You absolutely did, you idiot. Like wrestling 3 girls in high school who you would never make your wives. But again, wow, that guitar, it really sells God's aliveness, huh? But also, Josh didn't prove anything. Whether or not someone exists is inconsequential to hating them. You know how many fictional characters I hate? You know how many fictional characters in this movie I hate?
I figure on at least 1,000.
I hate. But whatever, now the kids must choose whether God is or is not dead. Crazy to think that a vote in one philosophy class at a made-up American university would settle millennia of debate like that, but I guess that through God, anything is possible. And anyway, beginning with the Chinese kid, they're like, oh yeah, God? Unlike Jordan's grandpa, he's alive. Have I mentioned how shitty this past year was on my channel yet? It has been a fucking doozy. You're not alone. Shut up, Pastor David. See, Josh? Pastor David doesn't exist, but I still hate him.
All the time.
Although, just listen to my guitar rip here. More like explosions in my sky and your butt, right? So now that everybody's a Christian, they obviously must celebrate with a Newsboys concert, which is kind of like celebrating the birth of a child by handing a knife to a toddler and letting them stab you in the leg. Thankfully, I learned my lesson by my 3rd child. I have 3 children. Please sign up for my Patreon so I can get much needed leg stab surgery. Josh, fresh off his scintillating victory, takes the Chinese kid to the concert because he's already bought a ticket for his ex-girlfriend, although I'm pretty sure it's illegal to bring somebody of the same sex to a Newsboys concert. That's apparently more of an offstage, well-drugged and underage thing. But Josh is feeling invincible, I guess. I'm pretty sure that technically the class vote just legally made him the new pope. Oh wait, not everybody goes to the concert to watch the pedophile rapist sing songs about God, because Amy's asshole boyfriend and Mina's brother,
I don't even know what I'm doing here,
finally visits his mom and is like, I don't get how you have dementia despite being nice, and I don't have dementia despite being an asshole.
Explain that to me.
And I get what you're saying, but also she's like 80 and you're like not 80 unless you have the best skincare regimen in history. I'm pretty sure niceness didn't factor into her having arthritis and dentures instead of you either. Hold on to that thought until you're her age, dog. Also, your mom has dementia, man. Turn on some lights. You're gonna scare the ever-loving poop out of her. Probably, literally, and then you're gonna have to clean up the poop, which again, will be difficult to do in the dark.
The door's wide open.
I mean, is he about to murder her for the inheritance money? Why are the lights off? She's going to think that you're here to shove chicken up her butthole. He should be sitting across from Amy, his girlfriend, who got cancer at the same age as him, and be like, you're so sweet, why do you have cancer and I don't? That would make more sense. That makes a lot more sense.
It's too late.
A deflated Radisson's also not at the concert, but he reads his dead mom's last letter, and it inspires him to patch things up with Mina, who is actively having the time of her life at the Newsboys concert, because, I don't know, the make-believe magic of cinema, I guess. Anything is possible in their world. You could actually have fun at a Newsboys concert. Can you imagine?
The movies.
But of course, Radisson can't help but continue literally walking in sin, and he sinfully jaywalks right in front of a car and gets obliterated in epic slow motion. Fortunately, at some point, Pastors David and Judah found a working car, but are once again forced to delay their trip to Disney World because of Radisson's wet corpsing. Move over, Hemingway. Car crash, Space Mountain, never ridden is an even sadder short story. But hey, this is still super lucky for Radisson because now he can be Death Street converted. Yay! Man, good thing God chose to murder this man for not believing in him. Now he can get converted and God doesn't have to send him to hell for not believing in him. This movie is such a loving tribute to the biblical God. Hooray! Although they better hurry.
Because the God that you don't believe in has given you another chance.
David is talking a lot, and it'd be a real bummer if Radisson died somewhere in the middle. I was born in 1956, and things were different back then. And I just want to tell you, life on the farm was...
Oh no, he died!
Oh my God, I shouldn't have said so many things. I have such a tendency to be long-winded.
He doesn't have long.
No, he becomes a Christian, I guess, and he dies, I guess.
It's okay.
So remember, audiences, forget all that logic and argumentative crap we spent this whole movie on. All you need to do to truly believe is have a fear of dying. Just feels like a lame ending to this movie, especially considering the famous saying that originated around World War I. There are no atheists bleeding out in the street 3 blocks from a Newsboys concert. I never really understood that until this movie. You know how many people are bleeding out three blocks away from a Newsboys concert at any given moment? A lot. 2 minutes. Cut to Radisson's very recently ex-girlfriend vibing at the concert, fully unaware that the still warm corpse of her recent boyfriend is rotting away in the rain like 3 blocks away, his lungs full of the blood that he asphyxiated on.
His lungs are filling with blood.
Goodbye, Jeffrey.
And then the Duck Dynasty guy shows up to get the entire stadium to boo the now dead and actually on your side Radisson.
One of your professors insisted that God is dead.
He's like, you know who sucks dick? Professor Radisson. And everyone's like, yeah, f that guy. And it's like, he died.
Well, I'm happy to announce
He's dead.
Insane work, movie. Duck Dynasty also convinces everybody to text everybody they know that God's not dead, which is likely to receive a lot of "Sir, this is a Wendy's" type responses. There's an implication that Josh might now end up dating Aisha, which would be a huge get for her because she's currently actively homeless, and Josh has probably got to get like an A in philosophy because he both won the debate and God killed the professor.
What happened here tonight is a cause for celebration.
Yeah, I guess. Join the movement! Also, here's a bunch of real court cases this movie is ostensibly based on. And hey, the movie will defend you too if you run your philosophy professor over with a car. I assume that's what they're offering. There's only one way to find out. Kill your intro to philosophy professor with a car. God will save you.
What are you saying?
Hey, is there any chance that this time around I'm gonna actually have a positive experience with all this?
How about this? What if I told you that your suffering here could be monetized by playing mobile games during your downtime?
I feel like a check would be the traditional solution here.
Did you know that your brief, theologically necessary imprisonment is being sponsored by Free Cash?
How would I have known that?
Hey, Free Cash is legit. They got a 4.7 on Trustpilot. And it's completely free to sign up. Just look at all the games and offers available. You get a $5 sign-up bonus if you scan the QR code that I just sent down from heaven.
I can't see the QR code.
Or you click the link in the description.
Wait, the description? Are you filming all of this?
Just make sure app tracking's enabled so Free Cash knows you're not lying. I would know if you were lying, but Free Cash needs to know if you're lying.
Ooh, I just won $15 playing Monopoly Go for like 15 minutes.
Now all you gotta do is withdraw that money via PayPal, gift cards, or crypto, which, speaking as God, that's a real dice roll spiritually.
Wait, you are God?
Look, just scan the QR code if you want an extra $5 on your first offer.
I don't see a QR code. Ah, dang. Still Pureflix, huh? I really had faith that Unwashed Butthole Pictures would win the rights to at least the sequel. I'm sorry, Dave. You do need to still keep renewing those name rights, though. Yes, it is $100 a month, and yes, you can just pay me directly. Don't give up, Dave. The butthole is most unwashed just before the dawn. Amen.
So I gotta sit on all the domain names, unwashedbuttholepictures.org.
Extreme Unwashed Butthole Teen Extreme.
Yeah, I gotta stay on that one.
Yeah, it's gonna be such a moneymaker. Hey, on the bright side though, at least that means we get even more cronking action, baby. Nice. We open on Sabrina the middle-aged, literally anything other than a witch, here going by Grace. Amazing name. Sounds pretty sweet when you say it out loud. She lives with her horny old grandpa, who keeps insinuating Grace needs to get eaten out.
You might want to start thinking about some other guy you want to have breakfast with.
4 out of 5 horny old grandpas recommended. Breakfast of champions indeed.
You're a good girl.
Pastor David's still around, but currently suffering from a debilitating injury after kicking a stool. From this moment on, he spends the entire rest of the movie limping like he has old-timey gout because he is one of those weak men who creates hard times. Do we think he does his own stool-kicking stunts and the actor got so injured that they had to write the injury into the rest of the movie? Yes, we do think that. We also think he pooped himself a little when he got hurt. But at least it was for the art. Like when Viggo Mortensen broke his toe kicking the helmet while filming Lord of the Rings.
This is really cool.
2 equally revered franchises. Oh, also, Hey Jude is back, entirely unannounced.
Why are you back?
Well, I'm here to kick some ass.
So he can pursue his doctorate. Weird that nobody mentioned this to David.
Why are you always so sad?
But he's got a lot going on. What with his toe falling off and all the poop in his pants. And oh, also the Chinese kid is still hanging around and he has lots of Christian questions.
How many questions have you got?
147.
First up, What is God?
Elsewhere, a girl named Brooke is sad because her brother died 6 months ago.
I'm never going to see my brother again.
And also because her parents are already over it.
But we need to move on.
Wrong kid died.
And maybe they're right. Maybe he was a little wiener like snitch-ass Fahid in the last movie.
The right kid is gonna die tonight.
Fortunately, Brooke's little friend has just the thing to help her forget about her dead brother.
Mom's making tacos tonight.
A white people taco night.
Well, then I'm not sad anymore.
Well, yeah, let's go.
Hell yeah.
Sad about who?
Sad about what? Dave, you don't know this, but you had a third brother who died when you were 13, and you can't remember it because you ate so many goddamn tacos. It's true. Therefore, send not to know. For whom the Taco Bell tolls, it tolls for thee.
I love that.
I said that at your brother's funeral, but you weren't paying attention because you had like 6 in your mouth simultaneously. But for most people, taco amnesia is only effective for so long. And Grace can tell Brooke is real sad.
Are you okay? I'm fine.
After all, Brooke's wearing a shockingly short skirt for a Christian movie. You can almost, but not entirely, see her taint. I had Dave spend a week making sure that you couldn't see the taint because I was like, it might be there. So I had to sick Dave and his investigative talents on it.
Enhance, 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 enhance.
It might be there, but my pure eyes cannot see it.
so I said, sinful Dave. If she has any acting talent though, that's still hidden. Can't find it.
Are you sure? Yeah.
Anyway, the point is Grace notices all this sadness and short skirtness and almost taintness while teaching in her totally real AP history class. And so Grace is like, are you okay? Are you still hung up on your whole dead brother?
Yeah. Thanks.
Maybe your doctor should prescribe you some more tacos? Do we need to upgrade to burritos? So Brooke hangs out with Grace at a coffee shop, the best place to get quality tacos.
I lied.
And Grace is like, hey, you know why I'm so happy all the time?
Jesus.
That makes sense.
Also, I have 0 dead brothers. And Brooke is like, wow, I'm intrigued. Also, do you hear some hauntingly beautiful guitar being played in the background by a ruggedly handsome content creator?
Yeah.
Because yes, I also helped out with the score for this movie, but like some kind of atheist communist asshole, I asked for a staggering $1,000. And even though they talked me down to $600, which makes them $66 cheaper than the devil, I've never scored a feature film since. But that still means that movies I have worked on have scored on average $40 million plus at the box office, which ain't bad. So if you need me to score your ass Christian movie, call me. Brooke heads home to help an Army of Salvation Army dudes take away all her dead brother's useless crap. But the oldest lady on the team, who can't possibly have been of any real help, hands her dead brother's Bible that Brooke didn't even know he had. Careful, no one tell Fahid. Honestly, why is she even sad? Sounds like she barely even knew her brother. You won't believe how common fakes like her are. I often come up to grieving people at funerals and scream at them, do you know if your brother even liked the Bible? I have uncovered many fake criers in my time. I am also banned from every cemetery in the state. So is Dave, but for, let's say different reasons. Naturally, the next day in, again, non-specific AP history class, which, fun fact, Dave, not a thing. There's never been a class that covers history. There's AP Euro, there's AP Government, there's AP US, there's AP World. Anyway, the point is, when they were discussing Gandhi and Martin Luther King Jr. in class, Brooke's like, wow, this reminds me of the historical figure of Jesus. And Grace is like, yeah, it is like the historical figure of Jesus.
Yes, Jesus. Yes.
God is not dead.
And of course, some Judas of suburbia, presumably a slightly older Fahid, betrays Grace and says that she tried to convert the class like so hard.
Except that didn't work. Jesus got himself killed and everybody knows that.
And now Grace finds herself in some sinfully hot water.
What were you thinking, Grace?
The school board is now considering firing her over preaching instead of teaching.
Coach, you're not hearing me. No prayers.
Grace is paired up with a sexy-ass lawyer named Tom.
You don't look like a lawyer.
Thank you.
Yeah, you look like a nightmare dressed as a daydream, or just like a male stripper. Okay, quick, stuff some money down his shorts to make sure whether he's a real lawyer or the naked kind. If he sues you, he's a real lawyer.
Makes him feel yucky.
Either way, though, he might just be the chosen one to fulfill the prophecy that her horny grandpa foretold.
Yucky?
He lawyerly recommends she just say, whoops, my bad. But Grace refuses.
Jesus?
No.
Because did Jesus ever say sorry? No, he took it personally.
It became personal with me.
But as Grace's probably very well-endowed lawyer explains,
Your kind of case makes everybody uncomfortable.
pretty much everybody thinks that Christianity is as gross as smallpox or polio, which is interesting because, again, we're talking about viruses, which I thought we all agreed were a liberal thing. I am reasonably confident that Jesus never wore an N95 mask. They never said it in the Bible. He was a nasty boy. But what Grace doesn't know is the ACLU actually hopes to sue her directly.
We let the ACLU do it.
Because bigger sequels need bigger straw men.
They've been dreaming of a case like this.
They're hoping to use her as some kind of nebulous example, and also because
we're going to prove once and for all that God is dead.
What the hell are you talking about? What the hell does that have to do with anything? And how will this case prove that?
Right, it's like me preaching Yoda too much in class. Does that mean Yoda's real? Don't tell me Yoda's dead, dude.
Everybody knows that.
This is like claiming that you disprove the existence of cars because you talked your way out of a speeding ticket. Also, the ACLU literally defends the right to religious practice and expression. Also, I thought Josh already proved God is alive to everybody everywhere definitively, and now he's the Pope? He's Pope John? The last remaining person still on the fence was Professor Radisson, and he is as flat as a pancake right now. And then, even though
Brooke is a minor,
she initiates a pro-Grace protest at the school, while David is too dumb to avoid getting selected for jury duty, presumably for this upcoming case, and according to his orientation video, he will not be allowed to consume any weapons while in court.
Consumption of alcoholic beverages, non-prescription drugs, and weapons are prohibited in the courtroom.
Let them eat guns! Which is the least American thing imaginable. Where's this case being heard? Finland? He's not worried about getting picked though, because
statistically, I have a better chance of being hit by lightning.
Which, to be clear, is usually a 1 in 500,000 chance. But he's in a pool of 800 people, of which they'll take 20. So I guess apparently lightning is extremely prevalent where they live. Maybe that's why so few people believe in the Abrahamic God here. They're all deep in that Thor worship. Or maybe it's because they live in a den of atheist debauchery and God is just smiting people left and right.
Isn't that what you prayed for?
Oh, also, Amy is still annoying and still has cancer. Oh wait.
My cancer's... it's gone.
She doesn't have cancer. And she is still friends with the newsboys because the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. Because of all these things that she is and has or isn't and doesn't have, Amy intends to change her blog's focus from liberal bullshit to chronicling her cancer journey. Except that would require her to potentially critique the staggering costs of cancer treatments in the US, and that's the exact kind of commie bullshit that makes God give you cancer in the first place, so she can't do that. So instead, she's gonna get involved in this case.
Oh my goodness.
And mostly just go on the news and call the newsboys, who should really be worrying about their own case, right? Honestly, I'm not sure what she achieves in this movie, but I'm so glad to have her back.
God has much bigger plans for you.
He didn't. Oh, Amy. Sweet Amy. And now we're at the jury selection process, and jurors are mostly selected by their favorite TV shows.
What's your favorite TV show?
Pretty Little Liars.
She's a witch. Pretty Little Liars, obvious center.
Peremptory challenge, Your Honor.
Defense can't have that.
what is your favorite TV show?
What dynasty?
Peremptory challenge, Your Honor.
Obvious Christian. Prosecution can't have that. Only watches sports? Oh, could go either way. Volunteering at a faith-based charity is an automatic get into heaven free card, but if you're a teacher who never breaks the rules, your next stop is breaking 0 rules in hell.
Acceptable to the plaintiff, Your Honor.
I tell my kids that every day so they can let me know which of their teachers are hell-bound. That way it's not immoral to mug them during recess. I don't know if my kids are mugging the teachers during recess or if I'm mugging them during recess. But either way, it doesn't matter. If the teachers don't break rules, they're probably not a Christian, is the point that the movie is making.
Ever have any disciplinary run-ins with the administration?
Never.
She's a witch. Similarly, the prosecution definitely doesn't want a Marine on the jury.
Number 2 just screams Marine. I don't want him.
All Marines are definitely Christian, always.
I mean, what part of God, country, and core do you want to put on that jury?
Sergeant Salmon, 10 hot.
Because Marine just means related to water. And what did Jesus walk on? Checkmate, atheists.
Got him.
If Jesus had walked on Kool-Aid, you also wouldn't want the Kool-Aid man on the jury. But the prosecution wastes so many vetoes on Duck Dynasty obsessives and members of America's armed forces, they're forced to add a literal pastor to the jury.
The man's an ordained minister.
Literally, what are the odds? It's like less than lightning, that's for sure. In the hallway, evil lawyer accosts sexy lawyer.
You can't win.
Oh, Dave, make a note. I have got a great Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde reboot idea. By day, he's a sexy lawyer. By night, an evil lawyer. Those are his two personalities.
He really knows the law
of that butt. Evil lawyer admits that he hates sexy lawyer's client.
You know what hate is, Tom? I hate what people like your client stand for.
Fingers and butts, dicks and butts.
Almost as much as he loves sexy lawyer's shoes.
Nice shoes.
This seems like a blatant reference to
Don't stomp your little last season Prada shoes at me, honey.
I think he's maybe being sarcastic, but like, am I supposed to know if those are good shoes or not? If I'm the kind of guy that knows if those are good shoes, I'm probably not the kind of guy watching God's Not Dead.
He's gay.
Eventually, the trial begins, and they make it clear
Christianity is not on trial here.
The only time a priest and a rabbi should ever be together is when they walk into a bar.
Even though the opening point from the prosecution is basically, okay, so if you asked me one of them Muslim questions and I answered the question very well, would you not assume that I was trying to turn you Muslim?
That would be preaching.
The prosecution rests, and also the prosecution's gonna wait for these edibles to wear off. Wow, you guys flying? I'm flying. If I know a lot about monster trucks, does that mean I'm trying to make you a monster truck? Checkmate.
Kind of got me a little
I'm thinking of
converted.
I'm like, then sexy Tom saunters out and is like, hey, separation of church and state, not in the Bill of Rights. It's from a letter that Thomas Jefferson wrote assuring Baptists that nobody from the government would make them stop being Baptists. So you guys have it all wrong. Interesting start to this trial. I think the judge may need to ask to see both of their bar exam scores though. They then call Brooks' dad as a witness and he's like, hey, me and Brooks' mom are
free thinkers, we're rationalists.
And then a coworker of Grace's is like, hey, Grace is super Christian, for whatever that's worth.
I don't think she'd chew a stick of gum without praying first.
And then the principal is duped into admitting Martin Luther King, for whom their school is named, was a Christian. Oh, shit! I just thought Reverend was his first name. And hey,
aren't facts just facts?
Like, for example,
the date man landed on the moon.
I'm not sure this is the right audience for that argument, Tom. Except, wait, also, Grace invited the principal to church once, and also...
Ms. Wesley accepts donations for a faith-based charity.
What does this have to do with this case? Nothing.
Worst of all, she said bless you once when someone sneezed.
Careful, or you might end up on trial.
Is this case a permanent mechanical fastener with a smooth cylindrical shaft with a head on one end? Because it is riveting.
Wow! Incredible!
It's A Few Good Men, but with a bunch of girls and cameos from a few bad actors that you sort of recognize from movies and shows that you liked as a kid.
Where's my axe? I'm hungry!
From there, we get testimony from a Christian professor of history who is like, no, Jesus the guy totally existed.
Jesus' death as a consequence of crucifixion is indisputable.
Which I don't necessarily dispute.
We believe he was built and that he was a very well-programmed robot, but he wasn't our Messiah.
But I think it'd work a lot better if an atheist historian made this point. It'd be like if I made an impassioned case for reading more English literature, or if Dave went on and on about how delicious unbaptized children are.
Guilty as charged.
We're probably both right, but we're biased. And each argument would be more effective if made by the opposite person, because you don't read and I don't eat unbaptized children. And then, similarly, they bring in a homicide detective to be like, hey, look, I read all 4 Gospels, and because I'm a cop, I can tell you they're all pretty much true, and Jesus existed, because, and I cannot stress this enough, I'm a cop.
Forgive my ignorance, Mr. Wallace, but how is that possible?
That detective is the right question.
And I guess technically Jesus was murdered, and I guess the Gospels count as witness testimony. Although I'm gonna guess that ancient Israelites thought a bit differently than modern day Americans, so there might be some different nuances than you're used to. But then again, you are a cop.
I actually looked at the Gospels as I would any other set of forensic statements.
Yeah, I'm a cop, I'm a good cop, I'm a damn good cop!
So who's next? A Christian carpenter who claims to have found Jesus's chair? A Christian sommelier who's pretty sure he knows what Jesus's wine tasted like? A Christian Long John Silver's manager who used Jesus as a fish supplier? An Italian camera guy who'd agree that if he were to kill the Son of God, then crucifying him and poking him in the side with a spear would totally be the way to do it, and therefore that part of the Bible totally happened? I'm just saying we're using a lot of really weird, unorthodox ways of proving Jesus existed here. Elsewhere, and as far as I can tell entirely unrelatedly, at a pastor brunch,
David, this tuna milk is exquisite.
David is told that all the pastors locally, globally, galactically will need to turn in transcripts of recent sermons. And he's like, oh shit.
We're at war.
This is it, guys. We got left behind type shit going down.
We've already lost.
Game over, man. It's game over.
This is the thing that kind of sort of happened in real life, but ultimately went nowhere because it's a pretty clear First Amendment violation, which again is the sort of thing that the real ACLU actually defends. But in this movie,
I don't want to spoil your brunch.
oh my God, it's the end times, baby. Christianity is under attack, and unless the silent majority fights back, they're gonna get persecuted like so hard, audience members. It's already happening. In this movie specifically, not like real life, but it could, unless you fight. How hard would you fight if it was real? But like, it isn't. And the one time they tried to make it real, didn't go anywhere for shit, because it's obviously not going to happen. But man, if only there were Bible verses about how persecution is fine and chill the hell out, and maybe the point of life isn't maintaining political power. All three of those verses make my point very well, in equal measure. But let's see them again with sick guitar licks, just to be sure. Yeah, even more so maybe. Pastor David refuses to hand his transcripts over to this yucky liberal man because God wouldn't want him being held accountable for the things he says. I mean, damn, all the man does is claim to speak for God. That's no reason to try and hold him to some kind of higher standard.
Yeah, what is this, Soviet Russia?
A nail that sticks up gets hammered down.
And like, it's not as if God dropped a whole book filled with the stuff that he said. Also, I'm fairly certain that most pastors record their sermons these days and throw them online, so it's not like they'll be tough to find. And if not, does the government assume somebody sits in the back of churches transcribing what the guy up front says by hand using a quill on calf skin? Of course not. This isn't your dusty-ass college lit class. This is the Lord's class, and all the material covered will be on the final. Not sure if this factors into anything, but on multiple occasions, it's mentioned that Pastor David now owns a Prius.
He bought a Prius.
Did Prius sponsor this movie?
Prius. It's very nice.
Yes, actually, they did. Should have changed the name to the Toyota Pius. Also, I can't imagine a less American conservative car culturally. Big, strong, Prius-driving Christian warrior David is still suffering complications from toe wound pussy disease, and he goes down hard. Stigmata has nothing on stub toea. Every year, thousands of wusses die from toe wound pussy disease. And with your donations, we can get that number into the tens of thousands and remove their defective DNA from the gene pool. This is bad though, because now they have to get another juror, and boy, does this one look liberal.
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
Ew. Somewhere else in the world, Chinese daddy shows up unannounced, mad and slappy to disown Chinese boy. Because it wouldn't be a God's Not Dead film unless some foreigner slaps and disowns their adult child. How else would we know that they're neither American nor Christian? It's the international language, like the metric system, or like putting endless explosions in Transformers movies so that Chinese audiences don't feel left out. The point is, American Christians never disown their children for a difference in beliefs. Which country do you think will get in on the slap-a-thon in part 3? My pick is Venezuela. But actually it's okay, because the Chinese boy works through his sadness and sore face by sight-reading piano, because of course he can sight-read piano. He also randomly, officially converts Brooke to Christianity.
I was beautiful.
So now he's gonna become a pastor in China.
God wants me to be a minister, to return to my country and become a pastor.
Well, I hope you enjoy Chinese prison. The conversioning, I guess, convinces Brooke to explode into the courtroom to demand that she be allowed to testify. And everybody reacts like she's got a gun when the only thing that she's armed with is the Glock of the gospel and the bullets of faith. But also, she is American, so you should always assume that she has a gun hidden on her somewhere. Dave's American and is currently brandishing 2 AK-47s. Sign up for my Patreon to get access to Dave's very tasteful boudoir photos of him wearing nothing but a pair of AK-47s. Anyway, they're like, you're a minor, but...
I am 16, going on 17 years old.
So instead of getting tased by the bailiff, she's immediately allowed to testify.
I will allow this witness.
And I'm like 85% sure that's not how courtrooms or good screenplays work. But they let her anyway because the producers want to remind audiences that this court case is not based on any real court cases. It's just whatever the hell they want it to be, which is why I'm still holding out hope that Godzilla makes a sudden cameo at the end. Now she testifies, and boy, did she just boof the whole damn thing.
You mean to say that there were other moments in which she talked to you about her faith?
just takes the thing, soaks it in booze, and shoves it right up Lady Justice's blind butthole. Brooke admits that Grace talked to her about Jesus outside of class and blames her entire conversion to Christianity on Grace.
That's not helpful.
So I guess ignore all the shit we were trying to prove about Jesus being a historical figure and that Grace was simply explaining history within the parameters of her normal job. Thanks, Brooke. Really appreciate it.
My brother died.
Not sure what you thought you were going to say that would be so helpful to the case, but it wasn't that. Also, you protesting about how God totally isn't dead on the steps of the courthouse is doing a lot of work to prove the prosecution's point that none of this has anything to do with AP history class. I'm starting to understand why you were such a bad student. So naturally, Grace gets the electric chair.
This court is adjourned.
I sentence you to death in the electric chair.
Ugh. Brutal. No, I'm kidding. Grace heads home to sadly chow down on the biggest off cupcakes I've ever seen in my life. God might be dead or not, we don't know, but her New Year's resolution sure as is dead as hell. This is just like Darren Aronofsky's The Whale. Actually, wait. The fact that she's not a diabetic after just walking near one of these may actually be proof of divine intervention. Quick, somebody put the off cupcake on the stand. Grace is further cheered up by creepy kids summer caroling some hymns on her front lawn and not necessarily all in the right key.
Looking for a city where we'll never die.
Also, we get a fun promo for Mike Huckabee's TV show featuring some dude named Brooks, which is definitely a typo, right? People aren't allowed to spell their names like that. Not in America. Where's ICE when you need them? The next day, back in court.
Where's Tom?
Tom is late because apparently he finally decided to buy a decent looking suit, which took, I don't know, forever to put on. Maybe Tom's just being a catty bitch and trying to make a dramatic appearance.
My apologies to the court.
I wore this ridiculous thing for you.
If so, he nailed it.
He almost looks like a sexy little bitch.
Also, has he had a soul patch before now? That alone is grounds for disbarment. Whatever. He calls
Grace Wesley
to explain herself as a surprise final witness and treats her as if she were
a hostile witness.
But if we wanted a really hostile witness, we should put Godzilla on the stand. That would be sick. Regardless, God, Tom being mean only makes him sexier.
Answer the question!
Stop. My penis can only get so erect.
Basically, he forces her to admit that
Jesus spoke to you personally.
And then he makes a convoluted reverse psychology argument about how we should throw believers of all kinds in jail and or shoot them with guns.
I say we destroy her.
He screams that Grace should get fired because we should make America into an anti-religious communist state where the secret police murder everybody who believes in anything. Hey, and you might try to make a connection to current events here, but those are fascist secret police murderers, not communist secret police murderers. And that's the bad kind. The fascist kind is cool. The communist kind is bad. So it's not even remotely connected to real life events.
Way different. Way different.
This is a hypothetical.
Well, let's not kid ourselves.
Seriously, that's Tom's last-ditch move. And in doing so, he defies the judge like 7 times, which I think means he's in contempt and would have to go to jail himself, potentially.
I charge you with contempt.
I accept the charge.
I sentence you to death.
I don't know. Go deliberate, jury.
We, the jury, find in favor of Grace Wesley.
So be it.
Oh, hey, look, they find her not guilty, which I think means that God is now off death row. I don't remember. And this favorable outcome is at least partially because the seemingly liberal secretly has a cross tattoo on her neck. Oh my, she's a Christian? Twist? Holy hell? I do wish it was clear what specifically Grace was not guilty of outside of being in a bad movie, because a lot of arguments were made in a lot of directions. I assume they're saying that you can talk about your faith in the classroom now, but I feel like she explicitly wasn't doing that. That was the whole original premise behind their defense. Is it legal now to agree with your students when they say that part of the curriculum reminds them of something else? If a kid says that the Battle of Gettysburg reminds them of a scene in Anal Invader 16, does the teacher now have to let them talk? I don't know. Everybody cheer, yay!
God's not dead.
I never said that.
God's not dead.
He's surely alive.
I'm sorry.
Guys, nothing about this case was related to God's relative aliveness. You all are idiots.
Courthouse here in Hope Springs.
You did it! Actually, Tom did it, but sure. Let's end with a hyper-political newsboy song about wanting to be guilty for God, which sounds filthy. I'll be on my knees. Even before considering it was written by a guy who is actually guilty, but like, for regular laws. I want to be guilty for God. Well, bitch, you're guilty for, like, America. Good news, you are. I don't think God likes pedophiles.
Highly suspect.
Anyway, that's all followed by a reminder that you can still join the movement via texting. And once again, the credits mention all the court cases this movie was based on, even though, why not make the movie about an actual case then? Wouldn't that make their point way more clearly than this? Is it because most Christian-centric court cases around this time were about not wanting to make cakes for gay people, which doesn't exactly scream Oscar bait? Is that what those big-ass cupcakes were supposed to symbolize? No,
You're under arrest.
In the post-credits scene, Pastor David is arrested for not transcripting his sermons? Oh my God, that's some Marvel right there, baby. I hope he gets visited in jail by Nick Fury, who wants to talk to him about the Avenging Angel Initiative. They mostly just kill firstborn Egyptians. It's thankless work, but somebody's got to do it.
But we're working on some other stuff.
Either way, I can't wait for the Pastor David Disney Plus spin-off series.
Yeah, thanks.
I don't know, something witchy? You know, like Sabrina?
That's not at all what we were thinking for this.
Could you show me some scenes then?
No, what if you leaked them?
To who?
The devil?
Want something to drink?
Got booze?
No.
Man, I'm starting to worry that Unwashed Butthole Pictures will never get the rights to these. That said, apparently this is a collaboration between Pure Flix and Quality Flix. Now all we need is a partnership with Uncut Flix. Whoa, we'll be ready to party, baby.
Power can be so overwhelming, it transforms everything around it.
And yeah, Dave, I mean, maybe one day that'll all get shoved up into Unwashed Butthole Pictures and we'll get some boofing. I can see the golden path laid out before us.
Local pastor David Hill was arrested.
Anyway, we pick up right where the last movie left off, with me bored and with Pastor David getting hooked in a paddy wagon and thrown in jail for seemingly multiple days. I mean, dude's wearing prison clothes, and in a deleted scene, we see him trading hand jobs for cigarettes multiple times on different sides of the deal. Like sometimes he's getting hand jobs and sometimes he's getting cigarettes. It's crazy.
Oh, you wanna get some waffles?
Of course I want to get some waffles.
Well, I guess you know what you have to do.
Unfortunately, he couldn't work any foot picks in there on account of his horrifically stubbed toe. He's like, can I trade you some foot picks for some hand jobs? He's like, not with those feet. No, thank you. You got any cigarettes? I'm not a sicko. Just want regular feet pics, okay?
This guy just can't help himself, can he?
This guy is a
Class A prevert.
Also, it's pretty insane to throw David in actual jail for refusing to hand in transcripts, because there's no way that prison would be the natural punishment for something like that. But also, if there's no digital evidence of them, that means Pastor Dave could have given them anything and claimed it was his sermon. He finally has a chance to get some beta readers for his Yoda Optimus Prime impreg / fiction.
This guy is a pastor who was jailed for his beliefs.
I'm gonna be honest, your sermons are sick. A little spicy, even for me, a liberal, but
My goodness.
have you heard of Unwashed Butthole Productions? I think they'd love this.
They have that right.
Oh, also, hey, why did the pastors need to turn in their transcripts? Like, what were the dirty liberals hoping to find? What were the pastors theoretically in trouble for? Well, yeah, but those wouldn't be in their sermons. This series is all about creating hypothetical persecutions. In this instance, they're like, imagine if they made you turn in your transcripts, just if they did. Surely at some point somebody would say, because we're looking for, the reason you would turn in transcripts would be something like, are you illegally promoting politics or whatever? But they don't want to deal with that. It would be more compelling that this would be a scary thing that could happen if you had literally any reason for it to happen. It's like if you made a movie where it's like, can you imagine if liberals started eating your toes for no reason? Just imagine.
I can and have imagined.
I can't stop imagining. I don't know. It's never explained, but then poof!
I am grateful to the court that they recognized that this mandate was unconstitutional.
As expected, the court rules this whole thing unconstitutional, so yeah, now he's out of jail. Yay! What a ride it has been. Roll credits.
This is what our country has come to.
Ah, shoot. Of course, we quickly pivot to a new, completely hypothetical political problem.
What's a church doing on a state campus? Honestly, I have no idea.
It's a fair question, because if they're having a bake sale, I need to know about it, because those church moms make great brownies. But right now, the only thing David can think about is feeding this homeless lady his meat.
Excuse me?
Sorry, to be clear, she feeds the homeless. She is not herself homeless. Although given the recent economy, it's just a matter of time. Although I don't think it's unfair to assume that she also eats the food that she feeds the homeless, because it'd be unfair if the homeless got all the food, which again, that food is made from meats that David brings her. So in a very real sense, David is feeding a homeless lady his meat.
I'm gonna need your transcripts after this.
I'd rather go to jail!
Hey, convict.
Kill me!
Pork chops turned out great.
Oh, I bet they did. David did a great job with the porking. After all, she's always had a weakness for bad boys who won't even turn in their sermon transcripts. Ooh, you think he's violating his church's tax-exempt status by being too political? Oh, most certainly, given this series. What a bad boy. Oh, God, I am weak for him because of how bad that boy is.
Who asked you?
That's why I fell for my wife. She never submitted a single sermon to the liberal government, and she committed numerous tax crimes. What a bad girl. Naughty, naughty little Anna breeding.
Like a sword of steel.
Hold up. Kronk isn't cronking this bullshit? Okay, it's official. God is dead. The series is over. He's gone.
We're not going anywhere.
Well,
Also, yeah, I didn't even help with the music, and neither did Will, and it shows. Well, I mean, technically, it sounds, but you know what I mean. The guitar licks in this aren't tasty in the slightest. They're the Arby's of guitar licks. Anyway, Jude's been promoted from assistant to the regional pastor to co-pastor. Disgusting. An immigrant from Ghana stealing a job from hardworking American pastors? Disgraceful.
Jude, you want to come up?
Apparently somebody else agrees because a rock is thrown through a window and a sign is defaced. Dave chases after the naughty youth.
David, no!
But the youth's too quick because his feet are aided by sin, which is why I've always been a little suspicious of Usain Bolt. How does he run so fast if his feet aren't aided by sin? Ah, holy shit, then Judas exploded to death? Hot damn? Wow, did they hire Judge Dredd to enforce that sermon transcript rule?
The sentence is death.
God's not dead, but Jude sure is, as David drags Jude's exploded body out of the burning building. It takes him a long time, though, because Jude is apparently very fat. And or David is very out of shape, and or very much still suffering complications from toe pussy disease.
Every single step, it's like, oh, no,
I'm such a pussy.
Weak pussy toes. My pussy riddled toes.
One of the interesting things about the Civil War is that most people didn't die from bullets. They all died of pussy toe disease. Anyway, the point is, Jude's dead.
I'm gonna get you out of here. He didn't.
Also, it's clearly a fake fire. Nobody on the crew had the balls or the budget to burn down a real church for their movie. To all Hollywood producers, Dave will happily burn down any church you want for a very reasonable price. All you have to do is be cool with Dave being naked while he does it. That's his price.
Part of the process.
I don't ask you how you do your job. You don't ask me how I do my job. Sorry. Cut to 12 hours earlier. Holy shit. Did Christopher Nolan edit this non-linear art film? Either way, 12 hours earlier, a hot girl was swimming hotly and also hotly struggling to hear God over the sound of all that hot swimming and hot kissing with her hot atheist boyfriend. It's hard for God to project over all that hot, wet sin, after all. They've turned it into the opposite of holy water. Is hell brine in there.
You're oversimplifying, but yes.
These movies are making a great case for sin, apparently bestowing people with athletic abilities. I think I'm gonna give it a try this weekend. I'm gonna covet my neighbor's property for a while, then try wrestling an oiled up Dave and see if I can break my record.
I'm starting to feel pretty dumb talking to myself.
Anyway, her name is Keaton, and she's deconstructing her faith a little bit, and kissy atheist Adam sure isn't helping things by trying to deconstruct her virginity.
Thanks for the snack.
Ooh, Adam, you are filthy, you bad boy. Stop making me weak. Oh, God, please. Do not tell me that you have done any tax evasion, or else I'm going to go absolutely hog wild on that atheist penis. I don't know. Sort of lost the trail there, but I think we nailed it.
Hero, thank you.
Cut from there to a discussion about the Mandela effect via Kit Kat bars and Curious George, which is so dumb. His name has always been George Berenstain. Stop being weird.
Whoa. Curious George does not have a pussy. Whole life's a lie.
They also discuss multiple realities, like one where this franchise isn't ass and I was fairly paid.
Science, yo, okay? Quantum physics.
All this science talk and no God talk makes Keaton soft break up with Adam.
I think I just need some time right now.
Oh, God, this movie is just like all about time. Another great movie about time.
Be prepared for strangeness. Get ready for spooky time.
I don't care what you believe and don't believe.
Suddenly flush with time, the most precious of resources, Keaton heads to the on-campus ministry that I assume doubles as a fish tavern in the evenings, Harbor House, to unload some of her sadness on, oh my God, Josh, Return of the King, am I right?
I'm being really weird.
Hey, I don't blame you. It's friggin' cool ass, got an A in Intro to Philosophy on account of the professor being killed by a car, Josh.
Hey.
I know.
Josh is willing to talk to her about anything at any time and anywhere with any amount of clothing on our youngish bodies.
If you need to talk about anything or hard, I'm always here.
Keep that in mind. Josh is a slut. Adam, meanwhile, processes his feelings by drinking at a sinful party and then exploding a pastor to death. We all handle breakups differently. When Dave's anime pillow broke up with him, he smeared his feces all over a Bed Bath & Beyond. That's actually why they went out of business and why anime pillows are now legally allowed to file restraining orders. But also, it's pretty clear that Adam's thing was an accident. He threw a brick with absolutely impossible, honestly, divine precision to cause a gas leak. He couldn't have made that throw in 1,000 years. The only person who could? Jesus. Also maybe Greg Maddux. The thing that's tough about Jesus is he always pitches a perfect game. He pitches without sin. When Adam realizes he's responsible for turning a pastor into Al Pastor, he actually feels very bad about it. But going by my experiences with Dave, the more he does it, the easier it will become.
What do I do?
Kill again.
It'd be fun if this series just transitioned into a pastor serial killer guy going around blowing up pastors. He confesses his sins to Keaton, which makes her an accessory to holy manslaughter, which is great because girls love accessories. Interestingly, he found Keaton sitting in some bleachers with a bunch of other random people, including this extremely old man, because that's how college athletic fields look and operate, which everybody on the crew knows because they all went to real colleges. We've all been to real colleges. This is what they look like. They have bleachers. Any random ass old man could just sit there.
Did you see that?
Right in third position.
This sure feels like a real college to me.
They hold a funeral service for Jude at another church, ironically run by Martin from the Righteous Gemstones of all people, because all movies with the church belong to the CCU, the Church Cinematic Universe. There's God's Not Dead, Left Behind, Righteous Gemstones, and Boondock Saints. Those are the only movies with churches in them. You'd think there'd be more, but no, that's all of them.
Brother, who do you think you're talking to?
Loud, arrogant, assholes.
Afterwards, David goes on a sad run, remembering all the times he and Jude almost went to Disney, while his homeless lover gives him the acting performance of her life.
I can't believe it.
Oh, and now, because of all the arrests and the apparent murders, the school decides to do away with the church. They don't outright say it, but they're also probably hoping if the church leaves, the Newsboys will stop hosting concerts in their city, which should at the very least lower crimes by newsboy. They want to buy David out, basically by invoking
Eminent domain.
Oh, yippee, the railroad. It's finally coming to, I think the town's called Hope Springs. Haha, salted pork for everyone. Lollipops galore.
This isn't about a railroad.
I don't know, what did you get on the railroad back in the day?
I mean, a lollipop on the railroad sounds great.
It's really not.
Josh explains how this will work because he learned about it
In grad school.
And I'm going I guess the fact that he refers to law school as grad school is just one of many reasons why he is not currently a lawyer, but rather a campus pastor for a fake college whose professor he once debated to death.
This is why I took on Professor Radisson, why I left law school.
Because I'm an idiot.
So David drives to Chicago to enlist the assistance of his atheist and actually legal and practicing lawyer brother, Pierce.
God calls you, you call me.
Who's notable for once getting big fat Greek married and for having sex in the city. Although he's now thrice big fat Greek divorced, which is sad. And probably having no sex in the city or the suburbs or even rural sex. None of it. Pierce is a little hesitant to help with the case, but obviously he eventually agrees and moves in with David in their parents' old house where David still lives.
Got booze?
No.
Ah, great. Now how's he gonna big fat Greek call his ex-wives while drunk? It's like Pastor Dave has no respect for other countries' traditions. What's he gonna do for fun?
Unfortunately, I don't really eat zingers anymore.
And look, it's a low bar. But not only is Pierce the most fun character in this series by a friggin' holy mile, their brotherly relationship is also easily the most watchable thing in this whole basically unwatchable franchise.
I had no idea.
Why would you?
I smiled at multiple points. I then flagellated the hell out of myself, of course, because smiling at imaginary things is a sin.
So stupid.
The next day, they barely stop a deconstruction crew, that is, a crew of construction workers unsure of the faith they grew up with, before they could tear down the church, thanks to the combined efforts of David's Christian filibuster,
So the Bible.
and Pierce's running into a Catholic church mid-mass and forcing a judge to sign an injunction. Hey, why wasn't David at church if it's Sunday morning? Just because his church half burned down doesn't mean he gets a day off. God created literally everything before he took a personal day. I'm starting to worry he didn't turn into sermon scripts because he doesn't actually give any sermons because he's a lazy-ass pastor. Bad David. Bad. He's always trying to go to Disney World instead of doing his damn job.
Local pastor David Hill is basically full of shit.
David now fully agrees to sue the school, including his good friend Tom, which isn't the most Christian thing ever, but actually, the movie is aware of this. Not to get too ahead of things, but this is the only movie in the series that even remotely dares to critique Christians themselves. For example, we learn Adam hates the church not because of his blue balls, but because his dad beat his mom, and when she left him, their church criticized and ostracized her. Pretty rough story to put in your hooray, God's not dead movie. As you'd expect, this was not what American Christians were into, and the movie bombed harder than Adam, and they massively reframed this approach for the later movies.
No offense, but he knows how I feel about it.
Not to give too much away, but I hear in the 6th movie, Jesus firebombs a Planned Parenthood from the back of one of those massive Lord of the Rings eagles.
Well, let me know when and where. I'll be there for sure.
But for now, this movie does a shockingly good job of saying things that modern American Christians unironically believe to be true about David's attack interviews all over the place.
3 million views. People are mad. This is good.
Only to reframe this as, again, not actually what Christians should be doing by the end of the movie. Spoiler alert, I personally don't see any higher value in life than pissing people off and getting views, but I guess Jesus took a different approach, probably because he predated even E-Bomb's world, if you can believe that. If Jesus had been around during TikTok, all he would have cared about would be getting views and pissing people off. Because that's all American Christians today care about.
Okay, we gotta put a face to the opposition.
Tom.
Yeah, Tom. He's the most visible, he's got the most to lose. You okay with that?
Because yeah, thanks to David's interview, Tom's getting railed on Facebook naturally, and people are hucking bricks through his window, scaring his weirdly young wife and daughter. Wait, was he a professor? Is that why he has a weirdly young wife? This is a naughty school. I'll tell you what.
It's really not.
Scared Tom heads to David's to punch him in the face, and David is more than happy to respond in kind.
I kick ass for the Lord.
Ah, finally, an honest-to-God fight scene in one of these movies. This is probably as close as we're gonna get to a Christian reboot of The Raid.
Jesus was the ultimate social justice warrior.
Okay, but how was his jump kick?
We're going to court. Come on, man. It's a big win. Be happy.
Which should be cause for celebration, obviously, but oh no, David's being a real doubting Thomas. Not to be confused with Scared Thomas, David's former friend.
I'm not happy suing my friend.
But also, David receives an anonymous text that Adam exploded Jude. So he runs to campus to hook Adam, and also seemingly a mysterious stranger, to the ground. Surprisingly, Adam is arrested, even though, do they have any actual proof of anything? Did the brick snitch for a lighter sentence? Maybe we're supposed to assume that Adam confessed, but we don't actually see him do it, and one anonymous text doesn't prove anything. So, are we about to get a whole Adam-centric God's Not Dead spinoff about due process? Seems unlikely, which is a shame, considering how incredibly accurate the previous movie was about how trial law works. Be nice to know. But David's increasingly punchy ways begin to turn the media against him.
Media works both ways.
Just like your mom.
And Keaton meets with Josh to share how unhappy she is with his punching process, and also that, oh hey, she was in high school during the first movie, which I think implies that she also used to date Professor Radisson. What Keaton doesn't do is confess that she knew all along who killed Jude. You sinner!
If being a Christian doesn't affect the way we act, then how do we actually know that our values and beliefs are any more valid than anyone else's?
That, detective, is the right question.
Oh, you mean like confessing when they know important details to major crimes? Keaton? More like heathen?
Why though?
Because
that night, a diner's bisexual lighting gets to David, and he and Pierce have a falling out.
Where are you going?
Oh, I'm walking.
Pierce reveals that David and their parents pushed him away right when he was trying to better understand his faith, which in turn pushed him to give up on faith altogether. And David's like, well, I had to take care of our sick parents, and they were old, and they were yucky.
They were sick.
You know how long it took me to get the old people's smell out of the couch? They spent all their time in bed except for that one time I won a tour of a chocolate factory, and then suddenly they were able to dance. It sucked. You should have been there.
You broke their penises.
So Pierce leaves.
And that's the truth, David.
And David explains to the Righteous Gemstones pastor that nobody's ever been as persecuted as he's being persecuted right now.
Brother, who do you think you're talking to?
Oh, okay. God's Not Dead 3. I see you.
I'm a black preacher in the deep south. I could build you a church with all the bricks been thrown through my windows.
Message.
Sad David wanders to the church and it transitions into space, and I swear, if you squint, you can see Thanos sitting on a space toilet. Later, Keaton confronts David and claims,
The whole world knows what the church is against, but it's getting harder and harder to know what it's for.
Message.
Which is, again, a pretty hot take for this kind of movie. David then goes and forgives Adam, and it turns out Adam sent the mysterious text, by the way, so maybe he did confess, or maybe Jesus made him confess, like, you know, gave him, like, started to choke, put him in a sleeper hold, in which case, that doesn't count. Coerced confession? Any jury will throw that out. Even one with, like, girls with blue hair on it. But, you know, if David was even a half-competent actor, and note, he was literally the kid in the Hey Scotty, Jesus Man meme.
Hey, Scotty. Jesus, man. I'm sorry. I truly am.
And if we brought in a half-decent screenwriter, there's an okay movie hiding in here somewhere. We're getting a lot of the flavors of the fantastic Task show on HBO, and yet this movie isn't quite as good as Task on HBO. For starters, it has way fewer gunfights.
I'm sorry.
But whatever, David ultimately drops all charges for Adam and apologizes to Tom for turning the other fist instead of cheek. And then at a big, fat, possibly Greek protest that night, David reveals that he's
withdrawing my lawsuit against the school. I'm gonna build a new church.
With blackjack and hookers.
I mean, that's exactly how you'd want this movie to end, right? That what's important about Christianity is not whether your church is allowed to physically exist on school grounds. That's such a stupid thing to fight over. Hopefully God is more powerful than that. He doesn't have like a proximity effect. David also makes a bunch of people light candles and shit, which I suppose means the community is healing. At the very least, the candle district is. Although that doesn't really address how easy it was to sick a bunch of Christian assholes on Tom in the first place, but it's fine. They lit candles. Peace candles, probably. And soon they will use those to light Molotovs of compassion. Although the main takeaway I had in this scene is that they apparently only hired enough actors for half a protest, and they spliced 2 separate takes together, but they forgot to edit out this single frame here where we only see half the protesters. And you can see that there are some protesters wearing the same shirts. I mean, the power of technology, am I right? Maybe the power of God, I don't know. I don't know what they used. Did they use Resolve or did they use God? It's actually, I think, a really clever way to solve that problem. But it's so f***ing funny that they did not edit out every single frame.
Something very small.
In the aftermath, Pierce is proud of David and Adam gets out of jail and immediately into Keaton's mouth. Oh no! And David breaks ground on his new church, St. Jude's, which is probably going to get a lot of really depressing and confused phone calls. And the credits reveal that we didn't base this on any real lawsuits this time around. We just made one up. I mean, we always just make it up, but this time we made it up even harder. So weird that when you actually try to write a movie instead of doing propaganda, you almost get an actual movie. One of the great mysteries of life, I guess. Except, whoops, then a newsboy pops up and is like,
the healing that happened here can happen anywhere.
Anyway, post
with the hashtag God's Not Dead, and by downloading the God's Not Dead app.
It's the only way to make sure God comes back and isn't shot down by Russians like they warned us about in the Left Behind documentary.
God bless you.
Okay, wow, so I guess we should write something uplifting and hopeful and pointing to God's transcendence over earthly problems?
Wrong. It should sound like a bald eagle screeching the America the Beautiful while gutting a polar bear.
Okay, maybe I just need to keep watching these so I can understand what the hell you're talking about. That doesn't make any sense to me.
It's about to get really wet.
Well, okay, forget all that peace and love bullshit. Here's an American flag and our actual God, Ronald Reagan, explaining that we can lose freedom at any second.
And it's never more than one generation away from extinction.
Like, for example, we might suddenly lose the freedom to illegally sell missiles to Iran behind Congress's back to fund drug-selling militias in Nicaragua. Can you imagine? That could be gone in just a single generation.
I can't believe you kids don't know about the great patriot Ollie North.
You and I have lived too long with this miracle to properly be appreciative.
Anyway, while that happens, David gets all wet and prayerful in a bathroom, which is becoming something of a Christian movie trope. Where are they always getting wet in bathrooms?
God.
What? It's another Christopher Nolan edit. Where does he find the time? Does he actually know how to manipulate time in real life? Oh, Christopher Nolan is always keeping me on the edge of my seats. Apparently 1 week earlier, there was a happy little family running a homeschool co-op that includes this weird, even by homeschool standards, kid.
Hey, Jackson.
His single mom works a lot at a restaurant. It is sad that her kid is so weird.
He needs help, Taylor.
What do you want her to do about it? Send him to a public school that would have a trained staff and resources and helpful bullies to help him know when he's deviating from social norms? No, they would turn him into
a frightened tour.
Actually, Jenny, yeah, that's pretty much what the movie says.
They'd give him an individual education plan until eventually Jackson becomes the label the state pins on him.
A frightened tour.
See, Jackson's dad is not God and therefore is dead. And we're gonna just white knuckle it alone as best we can, like Jesus would have. Lest we forget Jesus' famous parable of the pussy who asked for help. I got another story for you guys. Once there was this pussy who kept asking for help and then God killed him. All right, I'm going to bed.
Shotguns and beer.
Wow, Jesus is crazy after he went on Joe Rogan.
Wonderful.
Eventually, David shows up after a smooth little flex.
Sorry I'm late. Jail ministry went long.
Do you really expect me to not push you up against the wall, biatch?
Wow. Bro, yeah, you can just cut it short. They're not going anywhere. You have the definition of a captive audience. Don't waste time bragging about how many times you were in jail. What do you mean it went long? They were all stabbing each other and felt rude to leave.
How's Jackson doing?
He's a frightened tour.
Whatever, David attempts to teach the kids about Noah. I'm assuming he's gonna skip the part where he's castrated by his own son, even though that's Dave's favorite part. Except, oh, shit, the government has sent a liberal?
I identify as self-partnered.
No, God!
To review their homeschooling environment?
It's about to get really wet.
What? No, what are you talking about? Wetness and Christianity do not mix. That is why Jesus lived in a desert.
That is good.
Naturally, the liberal lady doesn't love their story about God drowning baby animals by the boatload and how few mentions there were of ancient testicles, or Australia for that matter. You know, they have a lot of testicles in Australia, so maybe that's why they didn't mention it, because if you had to mention Australia, you have to mention the testicles, and then I feel like you're gonna be talking about that for pages and pages and pages, and you're gonna lose some readers, and then nobody's gonna be a Christian because they can't stop thinking about Australian testicles.
Fingers and butts, dicks and butts.
I guess it's my fault.
He should have just shown the kids that Aronofsky movie.
Yeah, guys, let's get to work.
To save the innocent.
Anyway, this is all awful news to the homeschool mom, who's such a terrible actress. I have to assume that she's some sort of Z-list Christian celebrity. Okay, yeah, Francesca Battistelli or whatever. Fun fact, she hasn't acted since this role. I wonder why.
No one called to let me know.
And it's interesting because we used to sing a few of her songs back when it was my job to sing the songs of God's Not Dead franchise actors. And it's like, how full circle, huh? I do the music for them, and then I sing their music, and then I watch watch their movie and then they act in the movies I make fun of in my videos? Like, pfft, my head is a-spinning.
Didn't know that.
Also, I'm just gonna say it, I crush these harmonies. Anyway, Pastor David and the Chinese kid, who I'm sure has a name, but after the butterfly effect, I'm not taking any chances. His name's Martin. They have an awkward legal discussion about the Constitution.
American history is a hobby for me now.
Nobody asked you, Bamba John.
Which the Chinese kid loves because China sucks.
Oh, you would love China.
Oh, really?
The persecution of the people of faith is much worse now than when I left.
Well, even still, $6 for 6 pairs of tube socks? I mean, some things are just worth the occasional persecution, you know? But for now, Chinese kid is just gonna have to stay here with, oh, hey, Aisha, welcome back. So glad you're still free of Baba. No, wrong dad. There we go.
Freedom is fragile.
Nobody asked you, Bamba John.
All right, Chinese kid, chill out. If I wanted to listen to Chinese poetry, I'd pick up something by Li Bai. This is for all you Li Bai heads out there. I see you. I appreciate you. Big crossover between Li Bai fans and God's Not Dead fans. I assume.
Didn't know that.
The parents and David decide to do the Christian thing and...
We will not be cooperating at all.
Oh! So we're not continuing the thing from the last movie? Oh no! In fact, we're gonna flash through the last movie to retroactively be like, that was a stupid ass idea, huh? Perfect. Why would Jesus have turned the other cheek when he could have turned no cheeks? Dumb move on his part.
Jesus Kung Fu! Oh, Jesus didn't need an AR-15.
I hear you.
Unfortunately, the judge agrees with the liberal lady that nobody should be taught the story of Noah, I guess. And they've got 10 days to stop telling stories about Noah or Noah's Ark or Noah's castration, or instead, they must all enroll in the local school. Which is completely out of the question because they hand out pamphlets selling birth control.
This is an advertisement for birth control. Yeah.
But wait, there's hope. Some House representative in Congress has invited them to speak in front of some education subcommittee about their experience with homeschooling. Let's go to DC.
Washington, D.C.?
Yes, even David and the Chinese kid, who are both not educators and not married and have no kids in homeschool or otherwise, but I fully support their right to adopt. Their expertise will be especially valuable. Maybe David will ask a senator for trial by combat. He may not know shit about grade school biology, but last movie showed that his educated fists know the sweet science of punching.
Our freedoms came with...
So the OG homeschool parents are coming, and Taylor's also coming because she got fired from her job anyway. Her son will probably be fine. It's not like his dad died in a plane crash. Oh, he did?
My husband left for an Air Force training mission, and that was the last time we saw him.
Was it when a bunch of people disappeared from the plane during the rapture? See my Left Behind video for more detail. But it's fine. No passenger planes in America ever crash anymore. Oh, they do? Well, in DC, Taylor finally admits her husband died during an equipment malfunction during a training mission, but she also says...
I've worked for the government long enough to read between the lines.
What? Is she actually insinuating that he was, what, assassinated for being a Christian?
How he died isn't important anyway, because I know why he did.
Nothing. This is actually the most insane moment of the entire franchise. How can you just casually insinuate that Christian soldiers are being murdered on purpose by others in the military and they just move on with the story?
Jackson isn't dealing with it very well, you know?
How is this just being brought up for the first time now? David and Chinese kid literally know a Christian journalist they could put you in touch with? Was she too busy writing about the next Newsboys tour? What are you saying, movie and also lady? And look, I'm not saying that investigating an anti-Christian death cult in the military would necessarily be a good movie, but it sure as hell, pun fully intended, be more fun than this film. We can call it In the Crosshairs. Christian Slater can star. The thing could write itself. She's just like very casually is like, I'm pretty sure my Christian husband was murdered during a training mission for being Christian. And then they just let it go. Everybody in the audience is like, yeah, probably. That definitely happened.
It happens so often we don't even need to come back to it.
And why his father died, I feel like would all be for nothing.
And nothing of value was lost.
Side plot, the oldest homeschool boy tries to purchase a car from some cute atheist girl.
So, like what you see?
It's about to get really wet.
This movie does a fantastic job of dispelling the myth that homeschoolers are socially awkward weirdos.
She's very beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Eventually, he buys the car that he covets from the hot girl he's committing adultery with in his heart, which was inevitable and why I always make my wife sell the cars in our family. She's much cuter than I am. Also, I have no idea, like, what do cars even cost? Like $300? Sorry, I work from home. I only commute when I have to post Dave's bail.
This is just temporary right now.
But even still, he keeps finding excuses to meet with her, like at her school, and he tries to explain why homeschooling is the best.
No bullies, no school lockdowns.
It's not that convincing. I think there can be benefits to homeschooling, but I think it's got to be a lot stronger than I'm scared of things I don't understand. I'll tell you one reason why you should homeschool. What if you didn't? Oh! Eventually, she asks him to prom, except her mom is the mean judge. Oh, worldly Juliet, flee from this homeschooled Romeo. It can only end in double suicide, or at the very least social suicide, if you're seen anywhere with this weird kid.
Bear rust and let me die.
It's about to get really wet.
Hey, did you know that I was homeschooled for 7th and 8th grade? I hated it, but it did help me get pretty far ahead in math and English, and pretty far behind socially. Does it show? Also, my oldest daughter is currently homeschooled. Does it show?
Ow.
We all have our cross to bear.
Oh, Jude flashback. Apparently now he's Nigerian.
In Nigeria, many of the people that we minister to are gay.
Even though I swear he said he was from Ghana earlier.
Both police and fire departments have not ruled out arson in the fire that has claimed the life of a visiting pastor from Ghana.
Dakar to Zurich, Zurich to Frankfurt, and direct to Qatar International.
Interestingly, I have 2 cousins with Nigerian citizenship. They're both very white. Missionary kids.
Do you like hot dogs?
They say yes.
Anyway, Jude Ghost claims that bad guys in Nigeria were always walking around saying,
denounce Jesus and die.
Denounce him and die? Well, that's not a very good offer. Even the local meth heads give me a choice between my money or my life.
They say, Jesus. That sounds like a really good deal.
Still, thanks for the pep talk.
It's off, Ghost.
Another side plot, Aisha really wants to reconnect with Baba, who has an accent, but I won't do it.
Very progressive.
That's what faith looks like.
She could probably take or leave snitch-ass Fahid, though. So badly does she want to reconnect that she can't pay attention to the road for all the staring at non-slapping father-daughter relationships, causing her to run a red light and get absolutely obliterated by a truck. Although if you go frame by frame, you'll see that the car already looked like shit before the accident. I'm just saying, the conspiracies are piling up, kids.
Read between the lines.
Except then Baba visits her comatose ass in the hospital before eventually wandering to a church to yell at God.
Why did you take Aisha from me?
That makes sense.
And also chat with Jackson, which I feel like we should have another adult present.
That is an evil and pointless wish.
Even if just for Baba's child slapping safety, Jackson could accuse him of anything and or kick his ass, because Jackson's dad was in the Air Force.
My daddy used to airplanes.
I see.
But whatever. The talk calms Baba's troubled soul, so he goes back and reunites with a less comatose Aisha. Once again, the answer to life's problems is a severe car crash.
How do you know?
Also, it's just another fun tie to the first movie. Double spoiler, nobody else in the film is ever aware that Aisha got hit by a car. Not even the Chinese kid who texts her constantly throughout the film. Presumably at some point she stops texting him back because of the whole coma thing, but the Chinese kid's not worried about it. He's probably used to women suddenly ignoring him.
I thought maybe you needed to hear that.
Finally, our main heroes meet the congressman who's like, hey, Common Core, worst thing ever.
In the Common Core curriculum, Common Core deliberately creates the illusion there's no such thing as truth.
Anyway, that's what we're mostly fighting here. It's evil. Fun fact, Virginia is one of 4 states to not adopt Common Core initially, which is why I'm both a genius and sinless in the sight of God. Hey, did you know that the founding fathers were just children?
Most of them were just kids.
And therefore it's like not even their fault that they owned slaves and stuff?
As far as owning slaves, absolutely, some did. But many did not.
Great.
Yeah. Thomas Jefferson wrote the Declaration of Independence.
Was the ripe old age of 33.
He was basically a child. At least in Hobbit culture, he would be a child. And like me, a child. And sometimes a hobbit. A child who slept with his slaves. Thomas Jefferson did, I didn't. I only use mine to help film YouTube videos and explain Common Core to my kids. Anyway, it's good you guys are here, because as Christians,
we've abandoned the mountain of politics for far too long.
You sure about that?
And the liberals, they need to know.
They insist on trampling believers' rights. Well, sir, they are in for a fight.
Unfortunately, the guy who was overseeing the subcommittee hearings died all of a sudden, according to this sketchy-ass hot lady in a stripper coat who just left the congressman's office.
Thoughts and prayers.
So now the meeting is to be presided over by these guys who hate homeschooling but love Europe.
The children belong to all of us.
Which, it all sounds like communism to me. So that's all bad, I suppose. But then, oh no, the congressional aide, who apparently moonlights as the frontman for Sleeping with Sirens, he walks in and lets Taylor know that her kid is wigging out. She calms him down though by assuring him that when she's done, he'll no longer have to learn revisionist history.
You'll feel better if you eat your
Liberal tears. That, of course, calms Jackson down majorly. He hates revisionist history. Like, for example, the part where this movie loudly proclaims that Thanksgiving was actually more Christian than we often say in school.
The National Education Association believes that Thanksgiving is the recognition of unity and the rich American diversity that was embodied in the settlement of America. But God was the reason for the feast.
This is like blowing my mind up.
Did you know that Jesus invented stuffing? Can you imagine what would happen if kids didn't know Thanksgiving was more Christian than we say in school? Who's gonna teach them this extremely important 2-minute lesson? The parents? Oh, wait, that's what we're fighting for. Wait.
Well, that sounds completely reasonable.
That's their one revisionist history thing. Hey, Thanksgiving? More Christian than you thought. They're not teaching that part in schools, but it's like a little more Christian. When the kid comes home, can you just tell them that then? Hey, by the way, it's a little more Christian than they maybe implied. Dad, you're blowing my mind.
Everything is changed because of this fact.
What else are they lying to me about? Are they killing Christian air pilots?
Well, that would have come as a big surprise to the pilgrims.
Taylor walks back in there and proceeds to mop the floor with their liberal but thankfully washed asses.
Belief in the Bible isn't anti-science.
After all, she used to work for NASA. And also, Buzz Aldrin was a Christian.
And he got special permission to take the bread and wine with him and give himself communion.
Therefore, consecrating the moon. And that is why there are no more werewolves around.
Well, that sounds completely reasonable.
Have you seen a werewolf after 1969? No? Well, then you can thank Sir Buzz Aldrin for that. So there. I mean, neither Taylor nor Buzz were homeschooled, but that's not the point. The point is that the moon is Christian.
There's a common misconception of homeschool parents, particularly those of faith, that we're some kind of flat earthers.
It's just funny again because, like, if it's not a real court case, everybody involved is any thing you want. So for her to be like,
I completed an advanced degree in aerospace engineering and worked as a systems engineer in Houston at the National Aeronautics and Space Administration.
It's like, but you didn't. The next guy's like, checkmate, I moonlight as Batman. Did you know that I used to be a gay Muslim astronaut?
Who had a love affair with Yoda?
And now I'm a Christian. So I think I made my point.
I think that closes the book on this one.
DC shuts down, elects her president. You can reveal anything you want if it's all fake. I'm sure that there are Christians who work for NASA, but the fact that you're not one in real life doesn't make any of the points that you think it's making. The Buzz Aldrin thing makes some point, but the point that we're trying to make is homeschooling. Buzz Aldrin was not homeschooled.
He had a lot of schooling.
Yeah, he's an astronaut. He went to school forever. Do you think your dumbass kid's gonna go to the moon?
Imagine if Buzz Aldrin knew how Christian
Thanksgiving was. He would have made Mars Christian too.
I know. He would have kept on going.
You can't make it like a bunch of facts-ish and a bunch of made-up bullshit and shove them in the same movie and be like, all of this equally makes my point.
Acceptable answers do not include Jesus.
Then Pastor David says, God has a monopoly on truth and truth can't be subjective. Now, I agree on the second part. I mean, I did a whole rant on it as part of my explanation for the fourth Hellraiser movie.
Truth is truth for everyone and everywhere. Oh, yes.
But I think it's real tough to claim that you have special access to the source of truth. Even within Protestant Christianity, there are thousands of different denominations, not to mention non-denominational individual churches, not to mention chicken stands. It's fine to say that truth is objective and the pursuit of it is noble and important, but it's not okay to say that you've already discovered the answer to all things, but also you can't really prove it or show much evidence of it. Just trust me, bro, isn't a useful way to build policy, nor a convincing way to convince your brother that you're not trying to seduce his wife.
Your truth, sir, not mine.
That's a little brother fact for you. Again, I don't even think that the Bible is unhelpful in building policy. I actually think American conservatives could benefit from reading it every once in a while. But you've got to show that it actually works, especially that your interpretation works, because there's a lot of variance in interpretations on basically every issue you could theoretically build governmental policy around. Just look at the prosperity gospel. Somehow an entire branch branch of Christianity focused on making money sprouted from a religion started by the guy who literally said that rich people do not go to heaven.
It's an oversimplification of events, but yes.
Yeah. I see.
Just saying it's not nearly as simple as your simple self is putting it, Pastor David. But also it doesn't matter because twist, the subcommittee doesn't give a shit.
I'm sorry, sir, that you have misunderstood the purpose of this hearing.
And also, it's not like this federal subcommittee was ever intending to speak into their specific local situation. They're literally just one small part of a broader committee that is hoping to pass meaningful education reform in theory, possibly. Someday. There's a long way to go from whatever the hell this hearing, which could have been an email, was to any actual laws being passed. And they've got like 6 days to comply with the judge's order. Even if they agree that everybody should be forced to learn about the true Christian roots of Thanksgiving and homeschool, that doesn't mean that everything would A, ever happen, or B, would happen in any sort of expedited time frame like in the next 6 days. So to quote the Bible, meaningless, meaningless, says the teacher, utterly meaningless. Everything is meaningless. The congressman is like, Pastor David, you've been a hot mess for the entire franchise. You should totally run for politics.
I'll pass.
At least until the next movie.
I'd be careful about going to war against God's church.
Oh, okay. Firstly, you're talking about homeschooling, you freaking dork. And secondly, why? Are you gonna actually kill people, or are you expecting God to kill people for you? I sort of doubt God would send a plague of frogs to ensure your kids have more free time. The only war you're about to fight is between you and the Intro to Physics book you're gonna try and teach your kid.
No. Run.
That's not just a God thing. Apparently 75% of homeschoolers, like these random, again, fictional people here, they don't homeschool just for religious reasons.
3/4. I mean, I thought that...
That's what most people think, that all homeschoolers are conservative Christians. That's not true.
I mean, that's not literally true, since actually only about 25% of homeschoolers aren't Christian. But I guess they found their own truth, which I guess is relative for them. But anyway, this woman is definitely not religious and only homeschools because...
I want to be able to choose which immunizations my children receive.
Great, yeah. Now I'm sold. Yeah, that sounds about right. And when she said this line, when I saw it in the theater, pretty much over COVID, while I was wearing a mask, everybody around me, not wearing masks, cheered, which is why I no longer have feeling in my feet.
Our reasons might be different, but we all want the same thing.
Liberal tears. This inspires David, and he asked for one last chance to speak, and he's like, I've got friends in
China, Iran, Africa.
Oh my God, not even he knows where Jude's from? I got friends in China, friends in Iran, I got a friend in, I think it's like Africa, I think. I mean, he's a black dude with an accent, so 60% sure he's African and 100% sure he's dead.
We all have our cross to bear.
You can give Jude a country to be from? He's like about to make the point that they don't have freedom in these places. All of Africa, no freedom.
But they get it.
My point is, they all don't have freedom. And one doesn't even have his life because he was exploded. Although I guess that did happen in America, but it was an accident. My main point is, America is being taken over by people who want power so they can, do stuff with the power. However, may I remind you, you work for us. Feels like he shouldn't be allowed to riff this hard, but I guess he's got the power of Jesus flowing in his veins, so it's fine.
Because what you call teaching, Mr. Chairman, is really social engineering.
And not to get more political, but I just want to say that governmental corruption nowadays makes sense. They're all just making ass loads of money. It's not very complicated. They're doing corruption because they want to make money and or not go to jail for being pedophiles. I don't condone it, but it makes sense. There's the classic Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Like down at the bottom, you have your physiological needs like food, water, shelter, then safety needs, and then ass loads of money and not going to jail for touching kids. It's very basic. We're all somewhere in that spectrum. The problem with a movie like God's Not Dead 4 is they're saying that the government is corrupt and evil because they're instituting some crazy long game scheme to slowly turn the country into becoming not Christian, which is somehow being achieved through things like telling kids it was bad that the founding fathers owned slaves. And I guess I could sort of see how if you believe that'd be a little scary, but also feels like Jesus was pretty explicitly anti-theocratic and also not a fan of the whole enslaving people thing either. Do you think he liked that the founding fathers had slaves? I don't, like the whole first movie was about choice, right? If people aren't choosing Christianity, that's like the whole point of America, is they should be allowed to not choose it. Maybe your faith should be based less about whether the kindly government allows you to choose it and more if you choose it on your own. But in this, they're corrupt because they're like trying to give you healthcare and shit. I think we have different definitions of corruption, one. But also, I struggle to believe that all of these people are working out a generational plan to make people believe not Christianity just in a general sense, so they can have power.
History is being rewritten, biology is redefined, and right and wrong are erased.
Why? Whatever. I already did my long theological rant in the Left Behind video, and I'm sure people are already way more pissed about this video, and I'm sorry. I just hate how we do politics here, in all directions. Just seems primarily like pointless posturing. Well, yeah, they steal all our money and make life worse for people less well off. Let's maybe deal with that first, and then we could try to suss out if the government is secretly enacting slow social change over the course of generations to make us less likely to vote Republican or watch shitty pandering conspiracy movies or whatever. Like, give me affordable healthcare and like don't use all my money to like take over Greenland.
No. Run.
And then sure, I'll help you see if there's like a decades-long conspiracy to make me think Thanksgiving is not that Christian. But anyway, hey, back in Hope Springs, cute girl confronts mean Judge Mommy and is like, hey, homeschooling is great because it's done by Christians.
Who do you think does most of the donating and volunteering?
Even though we actually just said it's not Christians who homeschool, but whatever. Your honorable mommy is like, damned, if you aren't convincing my daughter, I'm gonna rip up my own ruling, which I guess that's a thing judges can do. I honestly have no idea. Seems like there need to be more formality than that. But what the hell do I know? I'm a fake doctor, not a fake judge. Anyway, hashtag God's not dead, everybody. Here are some more court cases that were basically identical in every way. I think we made our point.
Me poo-poo. That's honestly pretty close. I think one more movie and you'll bring it home.
How many times do they need to prove that God's not dead?
As many times as it takes.
You can't wait.
Did I what?
Oh, now it's the Great American Pure Flicks? Not to be confused with Great Communist Pure Flicks or Great American Unwashed Butthole Pictures. I know that was confusing to everybody watching, so I felt the need to clear it all up. Not the butthole. That's still pretty muddy. Unwashed. Pure in its filth. Anyway, so now, evil lawyer from the second movie, named Cain, after the biblical story of the evil lawyer who beat children with a cane, is running for the House of Representatives. This is a problem because he doesn't have a secret cocaine habit or mistress, and he wants to
restrict religious freedoms and support bigger government.
Both go against Jesus' famous motto.
Greed is right. Greed works.
I hope I earned your vote.
Yeah, no.
Even worse, he drinks booze.
Here's to enlightenment, reason, and reshaping our
penises. But worst of all, his opponent has suddenly pulled a not God and straight up died
of an apparent heart attack.
Only 6 weeks, and I'm guessing 6 days and 6 hours before election? What the hell is wrong with all these sober-minded politicians in Washington dying at extremely inopportune moments? Are they being assassinated by the same guys that killed Taylor's husband? I can read between the lines too, but I can't read the Wikipedia page for this entry because no one gave enough of a to make one. Whoops, maybe that's a conspiracy. They pulled down the very informative and persuasive Wikipedia page.
I've worked for the government long enough to read between the lines.
Can the kids come say hi to Uncle Dave?
Yeah. Hey, how's it going? What are you guys doing today?
She's gonna throw those.
Oh no, it's tickle
flowers.
Oh. That's really tickly. Oh.
I'm immune, as your father. You can't tickle me.
I'm glad when you said Incel Dave last time I was here, and they all started yelling Incel Dave. I'm glad that didn't stick.
Is that what I said?
That's what you said, and then they repeated it, and everybody was having a good laugh over that one.
That's enough questions for now. Thank you, guys.
But yeah, so who can we replace his still warm but sober-minded corpse with? I think you already know the answer to that.
And his name is David.
Yeah, that's Pastor David, intercut with JFK and MLK, and scary shots of vaccines and kids checking atheist boxes on things. And basically,
if the house flips, hello socialism.
Oh no, we'll be red like the devil. So yeah, we need to get David on the line now. After all, we're in a
fight for the soul of our nation.
We're diving right into this this time, huh? God's Not Dead 3 feels like 1,000,000 years ago. But I know that's not possible because the Earth is only 6,000 years old. And what is David up to these days? Well, for starters, he's not helping this soon-to-be homeless lady and her baby because the St. Jude Women's Shelter spent all its collection money on Newsboys concerts and didn't get the government funds it needed.
The government pulled the grant money because, are you ready for this?
Yes. No.
Some women at the center had a Bible study.
Knew it.
Filthy government. Good thing the current government doesn't, for example, cancel a massive EPA grant because it used inclusive language, thereby screwing over a YouTuber trying to make some extra money a few months after his wife's cancer surgery. The current government is completely non-agenda focused when making budgetary decisions now, thank God. It is all practical, sober-minded decisions. Never do they do a single thing that's biased in any way. You know what it reminds me and the Chinese kid of?
The Cultural Revolution.
Yeah, the Chinese Cultural Revolution. That's basically exactly what's happening in America right now. Careful, stuff reminding people of other stuff is how that teacher got in trouble in the second movie. You're on thin ice. Your brain is a beautiful void unless you want to go to jail. Of course, in real life, Chinese kid would be deported or disappeared by now, but hey, in this world he isn't. It's fine. Fun fact, Aisha and Baba aren't in this movie, so I guess that means that she did die in the hospital and then Baba slapped himself to death in the hospital parking lot. Well, that's pretty dark, God's Not Dead 5. Fahid just watched. Keep slapping, Daddy.
Baba has died.
Anyway, everybody's favorite House representative asks Lottie, the campaign manager, to run David's campaign because, I mean, she's the best.
There's no one better.
Forget that we haven't even asked David if he wants to run yet. What do you say? Keep in mind that the fate of the galaxy is on the line here.
They will have complete control
of the Republic.
She's like, well, I left politics and I have a son now, and I hate Kane's campaign manager, John Wesley, but sure, what the hell? For the galaxy.
It might already be too late.
Oh my God, I didn't know.
David hosts a sad fundraiser for the underfunded women's shelter, and Lottie shows up to explain how pork barrel spending works.
As a congressman, you'll be able to add zeros to your charity drives.
David turns her down initially because that's what Christian screenwriters call refusing the call to public office, which is, of course, based on the biblical story of St. Peter declining the post of CFO of a Roman sandal making company 3 times before he finally accepts. It's an important part of every Christian movie character's emotional arc these days. Jesus told Peter, before the rooster crows, you will decline becoming a CFO of a Roman sandal making company 3 times. And then you'll accept because, I mean, God loves money.
Famously.
We need you there tomorrow.
Lottie heads back to the hotel and runs smack dab into old fat shamey Wesley.
You can't wait.
Did I what?
She got a great ass.
Who shames her fat and also invites her to France for sex.
Would you like to join moi?
My baguette! Shockingly, this doesn't work on her, but it has worked on Dave several times, you fat piece of caviar-looking baguette-ass slice of brie cheese stick. You can't see it, but Dave is swooning.
Okay, I just saw the next line.
He loves... he loves visiting the Eiffel Tower and being in an Eiffel Tower.
That's my right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, here's some stats about the 118th Congress. Republicans have a majority, but it is so slim, even Wesley can't shame it into galaxy sex. So you know that this race is going to be important, galaxy-wise. Those stats, I guess, inspired David to do a rom-com stop of Lottie at the airport.
What are you doing here?
To announce that he's willing to help save the galaxy, even though he has her phone number, right? Just call her, you freaking weirdo. Are you saying your phone is only for marriage?
What made you change your mind?
Because she got a great ass.
Looks like he's also trying to run train on her butt.
Can't win the game unless you play, right?
You're not wrong.
Let's go save the country.
The galaxy's at stake here. It's like you don't grasp the magnitude of this House of Representatives election for a single seat. Yo, hey, look, another Newsboys concert that I'm assuming St. Jude's Women's Shelter has once again funded entirely.
I can feel the butthole.
Sorry, homeless moms.
These guys are great.
Weird, that's actually what Michael Tate DC talked about before molesting and masturbating in front of minors.
Well, no.
They're on the real Mike Huckabee's show and in front of an audience that all definitely receives discounts on movie tickets. And it's going okay, except A, David admits to believing in a light Gnostic heresy where he separates the body and the soul.
We're all made of both a mortal body and an immortal soul.
And B, in general, he talks about God way too much for Lottie's liking.
I have eaten the ribs of God.
Stick to the script.
And also maybe for the liking of this damned goon standing in the doorway who has as many lines as he has barbers. None? Too much Jesus. Too much Jesus. But it's fine. They'll salvage David's souring reputation with a Cain versus David podcast debate, for which David should really briefly change his name to Abel. I mean, the free publicity, it would be insane. Cain versus Abel. Whoops.
And the only hope they have is in Jesus Christ.
Stop talking.
He's too Christian again and gets cut off. Lottie freaks out like it's the end of the galaxy, but I mean, is this not literally why they chose him? Because he's super Christian? He owns his own church. Why was she hired if she wasn't down with that? It'd be like Dave getting angry at the kidnapped hitchhiker in his murder basement for looking too much like his old AP government teacher. Buddy, that's the whole reason you picked her in the first place.
What is it with her and John Wesley?
Oh, that. Well, Wesley banged her a lot and stole information from her so that her candidate would lose, so she quit politics and banging John Wesley.
Close the gap.
Which is why she's the best. You gotta get the best. Only Lottie can do it because she's the best at sleeping with terrible people. They're like, Lottie, you're so good. The only reason you might not be the best is because you had sex with the other political candidates, like campaign manager, leaked secrets to him, and then lost.
And the disgraced Lottie J disappeared.
She's bad at her job.
I guess she's also the best at doing shady deals, which again is supposedly the entire opposite point of choosing a guy like David in the first place. But she makes a deal with Mina's unwashed butthole of a brother from the first movie. You remember him, right? He was Kevin Sorbo's brother in Bang.
We had fun.
Basically, he'll fund their campaign if David can cut through some red tape for his construction company or whatever at some point. And I guess David's okay with this?
What does he want in return?
What anyone with money wants.
More. In Jesus' name. Amen.
Maybe Lottie doesn't explain the full extent of the deal, but she'll have to at some point, right? Also, she's out here making up fake websites.
Make them up. I want at least 30 websites to link back to ours.
And doing everything she can to dig up dirt on Cain. I truly do not understand why she was hired for this. She's bad at her job on levels usually reserved for unfireable Nepo babies. Maybe everyone assumes that because she banged Wesley, some of his political acumen literally rubbed off on her.
I know my job.
That said, it's working. And political montage. Like a rundown shopping mall, David is closing the gap. Is it weird that David's name is in blue and Cain's is in red? Is the big twist at the end of this movie going to be that David's actually running as a Democrat? Ugh, do you even imagine the shootout in the theater between the audience and the screen if that was the case? Everybody just starts blasting the screen. No!
Betrayed us. You really have no idea.
Cain agrees to a fully televised debate with David because if there's one thing this franchise loves more than a Newsboys concert, it's a disingenuous debate scene. So they do, and David's very adamant that he's not a Christian nationalist, and proves this by using a bunch of Christian nationalist straw man arguments.
What about the high school coach who invites players to join in on a prayer after the game? Is this nationalism?
No, David. He's referring to politicians like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert. Boebert?
Boebert?
I'm not gonna look your name up, Lauren.
The church is supposed to direct the government.
Is she a nationalist?
I mean, maybe. It's not useful to create hypothetical innocent people, except Frankenstein. That is the one instance where inventing innocent people was a good thing. At least for English literature. But for now, explain why politicians like that either aren't actually Christian nationalists somehow or whatever, or how you intend to be different from them. Like, promise that you won't get to third base at Beetlejuice the musical.
The juice is loose.
That's the first step.
There are better places to do either of those things.
Cats the musical.
Exactly. Nobody's going to be surprised.
And actually, David does get more specific. Sort of.
We need efficient, affordable care.
Hey, I agree. But just one follow-up question friggin' how, David? Specifically, how does that happen? I have to fix my own cancer? What are you saying?
Not only would you learn to save, but you might just learn the value of self-reliance versus government dependency.
And look, everybody watching this probably understands this, but like, how is that an objectively Christian viewpoint or whatever? Like, why does this movie feel obligated to state that Christians should be against universal health care or for small government?
I do have a problem with big government. It spreads like a cancer.
Of course, Christians could believe that, but they could just as easily believe the opposite. They could even believe in, I don't know, medium-sized government or healthcare that's just sort of decent.
Christians don't believe that.
Yes, they do.
Whatever, the debate ends eventually, and Lottie's like, we're doing great. Once we get some dirt on Cain, we'll kill him with that, and the galaxy will be saved. But David's still like, oh, dirt me no like him. It's squeaky cleany like Jesus.
Negative campaigns work.
But undeterred, Lottie hires some shady lady who does manage to find dirt, but even shady's like, I don't know if this dirt is real.
Something's not right, Lottie. It feels wrong.
I'm actually pretty bad at my job, and I didn't vet it for some reason. And Lottie's like, who cares? We got the dirt. Let's shit it all over Cain. Allegedly, Cain was allegedly bribed by some alleged defendant to get some alleged criminal off with an alleged lesser sentence. And David's like, well, I don't think we should do anything with this information. Call me Mr. Clean, because I'm so against dirt, and I'm actually wearing a wig because I'm violently bald.
Please, destroy this.
But like, this isn't a scandal. This is a crime, right? You don't have to leak it to the press. You can just hand it over to the cops and be like, I don't know if this is true, but maybe you should look into it. Like, Harvey Weinstein wasn't canceled. He committed crimes, and not just cinematic ones. There's a difference. You don't actually become morally superior by not investigating whether your opponent committed actual crimes.
Out of the courthouse in a case that was.
And this is just the one that you know about. Were there other times? Whatever. David doesn't want to use it, so it's a moot point. It's unethical to stop crime. Jesus never arrested anybody. Your opponent scalped and raped cowboys. Like in Blood Meridian. Well, that's between him and the Cowboys. I don't want to get my hands dirty. This is, I think, one of the most confused things about cancel culture stuff. Some people are dirtbags. Some people are criminals. There's a big difference. Raping somebody is not like, well, I'm not going to watch your TV show anymore. It's like, no, they should go to jail if they did it. And if they didn't, then whatever. You can make a decision based on whatever you want. But if they should go to jail, they should go to jail. Whoops, never mind. That dirt got leaked to the press anyway, and it's immediately proven that the whole thing was fabricated, and everybody's mad at David for this horrible thing he has done.
Where did I go wrong, Lord?
Jesus, man. No, not his acting. The Cain stuff. Lottie swears she didn't do it, but she also says that she'll resign now.
At least she gets to go home now.
Oh! So the goon can speak.
You can quit too, Sam. That's all the compassion you have for your colleague.
David is also suspended by the church board, and the women's shelter is condemned. And like, is he ever gonna get married? You're getting old, David. And your goatee becomes creepier every day. Is it not weird to have an entire Christian series about an unmarried man? I don't know why that seems so odd. He's like fighting all these weird fights for like married people. It's not impossible. You don't have to be. He's like, what matters to me the most is family, which is why I'm a 50-year-old unmarried man.
It doesn't matter the most to you. It matters maybe a little bit.
If it mattered the most, you'd be doing something different.
Where did I go wrong, Lord? Start there.
Now, a more intentional Christian movie would probably take a hard look at whether being involved in politics to this extent is really the most important thing at the end of the day, but it isn't that kind of movie. So the rep guy who kickstarted this whole adventure shows up with, oh my God, I'm hoping it's something besides Gwyneth Paltrow's head.
What's in the bag?
Oh God! Oh, thank God, it's just a metaphor about pine cones, nature's butt plugs.
They're covered in a super hard sap.
The rep's like, did you know that 40 million very sinful American Christians don't even vote? And David's like, wow, like a lot of things, I didn't know that.
We can no longer ignore this.
Guess I'll stay in the race. He also challenges Cain to one final debate, which Cain agrees to because David hurt his feelings, so. Now, by the way, Mina's shit-ass brother leaked the fake dirt to the press. He was the unwashed butthole the entire time.
You were used.
We probably shouldn't have given the dirt to him in the first place because literally, why would you? But Lottie's the best, so let's not question her very good method. So look at that. Lottie's back on the team, and oh no, she's touching David's single sensual hands. Fucking Christian James Bond over here.
I'm guilty of many despicable things.
Oh, shit. They better not go to Beetlejuice the musical.
We should probably pray for David, guys.
Hey, maybe throw one up for Tate while you're already on the line. Or actually, probably better yet, throw up a prayer for all the people that he's like abused. Lottie now feels horned up enough to admit that Wesley knocked her up way back when. So that's where her son came from.
Kind of figured that.
Because again, she's the best at getting pregnant and screwing up political campaigns. I'm so glad we got Lottie on this.
You should use a damp paper towel to clean up the
Now it's debate time. And the homeless girl from the beginning brought her damn baby? Do you think it also is Wesley's? You think all children are Wesley's? Well, you'd be wrong because mine aren't. They're mine. I have 3 mine children. Sign up for my Patreon so I can hire security to stop Wesley from trying to take them. He wants all the babies to be his. But still, the fate of the galaxy is on the line. And you want to risk derailing the debate into discussions about whether you should be allowed to pop a boob out in public? No, not yours, Dave. Put that thing away.
Sorry.
As you'd expect, David mostly assumes everybody's pretty much Christian.
You guys remember how upset you were when they eliminated prayer in school?
And he vaguely alludes to how bad things are in
European socialist
Do
countries.
you hear yourself now?
And he specifically says that Christians only care about their neighbors specifically because the Son of God said they had to, which is probably not the slam dunk he thinks it is.
Isn't love thy neighbor central to the teachings of Jesus?
No, Senator.
I bet many Americans care about their neighbors because their neighbors are hot. That's why I care about my neighbors, my brother-in-law specifically. Got that.
Just kidding.
The only reason Jesus' teachings of love thy neighbor resonates is because he was the Son of God.
I mean, maybe. Finally, he goes for the jugular by saying the Declaration of Independence has some Jesus words in it, which of course causes the foreign-ass Chinese kid to stand again as a callback to the first movie, but with way shittier music. And of course, this means David wins. Hard. And what does he do now that he can make real political change in the world?
Turns out the law allows you to spend campaign money on things like the Women's Center.
Oh, he embezzles funds from his campaign and uses them to rebuild the women's shelter and probably throw future Newsboys concerts. Fight the good fight! It is incredible that the movie, and maybe the franchise, ends not with the town's Christians coming together to raise money for a women's shelter, thereby proving we don't need the government to help us feed the poor or serve the oppressed or whatever, but instead, it ends with a politician effectively embezzling funds from his campaign for a pet project. Amazing. Perfection. If your point is that the government should be small, it's not that it should be like we should get smarter about embezzling funds from it. The point should be that you can live without it. They tried that at the beginning and it didn't work. So instead he had to like do a whole long ass, expensive, protracted political campaign to get elected and then steal money from the government.
He did it himself. Self-sustainably.
Fight the good fight.
Here's a few more Christians don't vote enough stats before a long-ass Newsboys performance over the credits that I sure hope the producers regret. Still, perfect way to end the series, and I can think of no better way to end this video than by finally showing you Dave's unwashed butthole. Were you really waiting to see it? You'll have some introspection to do. Go to church. And okay, God, or, you know, whatever this disembodied voice is, I think I finally have a little number for you.
Wow, that was actually extremely legally distinct.
Thank you. Can I leave now?
No, you did die. You did die. I'm God, you're dead. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're dead.
Ah, I friggin' knew it!
This song's actually just gonna be new lobby music for people in purgatory.
Damn it!
Hey, don't forget to sign up for that $5 bonus from Free Cash, am I right?
Okay, but what if you also made some money on free cash and then you paid me with your earnings? I mean, it seems super easy to make money on this thing.
No way, dude. I'd blow it all on a Taco Bell run.
God eats Taco Bell?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I guess the devil eats at Arby's.
Correct.